Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, National Treasure Map, Only I Can See the Hints. Chapter 81. Then, not long after, the whole world was in chaos, with fighting and killing happening everywhere. I was also forced into that fight, and then, in the middle of the fight, I died. If you open your eyes again, it's time to dig me out. The saint said slowly. After hearing this, Su Yu couldn't help but frown. Guanyin appeared and issued decrees. This means that Guanyin was still there in the era where the saint was. Is that so? How did Guanyin appear? Su Yu thought for a while and asked. There is a statue of Guanyin in the door. One day, the statue of Guanyin came to life, the saint said. So, it's just the statue of Guanyin that comes to life, rather than the real arrival of Guanyin. Su Yu asked again. Well, you can put it that way. The saint considered it for a moment and nodded. At this moment, Lin Zi pushed the door open, took a look, and threw a stack of watches in front of Su Yu. So many. Su Yu looked at a stack of watches and felt a headache. He asked, Sister Lin, can someone else ask? With so many forms, when do I have to fill them out? He also wants to dig for treasure maps. Where is there anyone now? They are all busy. Besides, you dug her out, you are responsible. Lin Zi walked out and said, you have to face it sooner or later anyway, take advantage of now to get familiar with it. Bar. Su Yu was helpless. He raised his head and glanced at the saint, and found that the saint was quite calm. Picking up the first form, Su Yu glanced at it and said, I ask, you answer, I have to do some registration for you, and you have to apply for an ID card later. What is the ID card? The saint asked curiously. An ID card is a document used to prove identity. Su Yu explained. Then can I not do it? The saint seemed to be resisting. No, even if the Buddha comes, you still have to apply for an ID card, understand? Su Yu said impatiently. There are still a lot of treasure maps yet to be discovered. If I had known earlier, I would have stopped poaching the saint. It was all because of the lard. Okay then, just ask. The saint said. Name, Su Yu asked. Xing Yishan. Identity, Miaoshan Gate, Saint. Cultivation, it used to be the big, well, now it's the gold core period. Gold core period, Su Yu's forehead got bigger. He does know about the gold core stage, but what state does it correspond to now? War Emperor, or above War Emperor? Can't figure it out. Wait for me here, I'll go out. Su Yu stood up and walked out. After a while, Su Yu came back and wrote the words, Gold Core Stage, on the table, followed by a bracket, which said, equivalent to the Battle Emperor realm, then he raised his head and continued. Asked, age. 18 years old. Ha, Su Yu raised his head, stared at Saint Xing Yishan, and asked, are you sure? When I died in the battle, I was 18,000 years old. Now, I don't know how many years have passed, and I don't know how old I am. Xing Yishan replied weakly. This is an old fairy. Su Yu couldn't help but complain. But looking at him, he was only about 20 years old, so he was really young. No wonder she opened her mouth and said she was 18 years old. If you tell me, countless people will believe it. It took more than an hour to register the Saint Xing Yishan. By the time it was done, it was already dark. When Su Yu walked out of the night watch branch, his head was big. Hurry up and recruit a few people. Next time something like this happens again, let them handle it. Su Yu told himself secretly, then turned to Xing Yishan and said, Saint, let's go, I will arrange a place for you to live. He had gone to see Li Xiao about this matter. Li Xiao told Su Yu to first arrange for the saint to live where he lived. Anyway, 200 square meters, let alone one person, can accommodate 10 women. Good. Walking back all the way, Xing Yishan followed Su Yu closely while looking around curiously. On the way back, Su Yu paid for a feast for Xing Yishan and also packed some food. Later, I also bought 2 sets of modern clothes for Xing Yishan. From the inside out, I bought 2 sets. Now that it has been dug out, it is time to start a new life. Clothes also have to be replaced with new ones. This is Su Yu's idea. After returning home, Su Yu settled Xing Yishan down, then turned and walked out. Go downstairs and enter the grotto heaven. It was actually dark inside the grotto heaven. Su Yu raised his head and took a look. Carrying his packed things, he came to the mahjong table and sat down. 3 seniors, I'm here to see you. Su Yu said with a smile. This is the food I packed for you when I come back. You can try it. Huh, Su Yu suddenly looked surprised, looked at the extra red center on the mahjong table, and said, why is there an extra red center? We went out during the day, and we found a red one. Unfortunately, there were too many missing mahjong tiles, and now we only found this one. Immortal sighed, seeming very regretful. Then, he moved his nose, smelled the fragrance, and asked, Little Su Yu, you are so thoughtful. You know how to give us 3 old guys some food when you come back in the evening. Now, let's lend you this Yaoji for 2 days. When the time comes, you must return it to us. Cheng Shengxian picked up a Yaoji from the mahjong table and stuffed it directly into Su Yu's hands. What can such a chicken do? Su Yu asked unexpectedly. What can you do? Immortal smiled and said, looking at your face, I'm afraid you may have suffered a bloody disaster recently. If you are not careful, you will die, but if you carry such a chicken, you can save your life at the critical moment. Immortal God said naggingly. Blood disaster. Su Yu frowned slightly when he heard this. If the immortal was right, then it was probably the bloody disaster caused by the Lu Qiu killing. It seems that Sister Lin must be right. Su Yu thought to himself. After the 3 immortal beings finished eating, Su Yu played mahjong with them for a while, then left Grotto Heaven and returned home. Xing Yishan has already taken a bath. At the moment, she is sitting on the bed, sitting cross-legged, as if she is practicing. Su Yu quietly closed the door without disturbing Xing Yishan, and then returned to his bedroom to rest. The next day, before dawn, Li Xiao called and asked Su Yu to come to the branch quickly. When he arrived at the branch, Li Xiao pointed at a young man and said to Su Yu, this is Lu Chutang, the night watchman from East District 1. This time he came to represent Lu Chu and wanted to fight with you. Let's talk about the 7 Kills Monument. Hello. Su Yu smiled with a smile on his face. After sitting down, he asked with a smile, the 7 Kills Monument is worth a lot of money. I wonder how much you will pay. It is undeniable that the 7 Kills Monument is indeed priceless. But if you want to take the 7 Kills Monument as your own, you must have enough strength. Lu Chutang said with a smile. Su Yu, believe me, you don't have the strength. If you can't grasp it, you might as well let me do it. If you keep the 7 Kills Monument, you will only bring disaster to yourself. Then, how much is it? Su Yu asked again. Lu Chutang was slightly surprised. He didn't expect Su Yu to be so direct. He thought about it and said, this time, I will suffer a little loss. I am willing to pay 2 million to buy your 7 Kills Monument. Don't worry, pay the money with one hand and deliver the goods with the other hand, I won't rely on you. If you agree, I will protect you from now on. When you go out, you can tell everyone that you are my Lu Chutang. 2 million. Su Yu stood up, smiled and said, sorry, I'm very busy, I have to go to work. 2 million for a priceless treasure. Isn't this bullying? Do you really think that I, Su Yu, am an idiot who doesn't understand anything? Su Yu, Lu Chutang suddenly shouted. Then how much do you want? How much do you pay? Su Yu stopped. 3 million. Lu Chutang frowned. This is already my limit, no more. Farewell. Su Yu walked out and quickly left the night watch branch. Li Xiao was extremely embarrassed. Of course, he also felt that Lu Chutang was going too far, but he couldn't say this openly. Li Xiao, you are the minister of the Tianhe branch of the night watch. Go and persuade Su Yu. I know that the money I gave is a bit small, but young people don't always think about making money and pay more attention to dedication. I do this for his own good. Giving him too much money is not conducive to his struggle and growth at all, don't you think? Lu Chutang said angrily. Li Xiao smiled on the surface, but in his heart he had scolded all the 18 generations of Lu Chutang's ancestors 10 times. Lu Chutang was still chattering. Li Xiao couldn't help it anymore and said quickly, you sit down first, I will go and persuade Su Yu. Making an excuse, Li Xiao ran away quickly. As for persuading Su Yu, forget it. This means that he is not strong enough, otherwise, he would have kicked Lu Chutang out long ago. Now, I can only endure it. A mere Lu Chutang is nothing, but Lu Chusha standing behind Lu Chutang is an existence that makes people extremely fearful. There are 3 war emperors in one sect, and there is Lu Qiusha who is above the war emperor. This is really no joke. Anyone with a bit of brains would not offend the Lu Qiu clan easily. Even Hao Tianlu was unwilling to offend. This time things are in trouble. Li Xiao left the night watch branch, found a stall, and ate breakfast with a sad face. I wonder what Su Yu is thinking. Li Xiao was secretly worried. What happened this time may be civil strife if you are not careful. No, I have to have a good talk with Su Yu. Li Xiao was a little anxious and quickly dialed Su Yu's number. The first time, no one answered. The second time he called, he found that he had been blocked by Su Yu. Li Xiao had no choice but to eat breakfast in a hurry and went straight to the night watchman's family building. He knew the whole story, and he was on Su Yu's side. However, sometimes, it is not possible to stay safe just by being reasonable. In this world, after all, it is still a matter of competition to see whose fist is big enough and hard enough. Inside the grotto heaven, Su Yu brought a lot of breakfast and accompanied the 3 longevity beings to eat breakfast and play mahjong. Su Yu took out the Yao chicken that he just got last night. Otherwise, 1 card is missing and there is no way to play. Ah, what a fool! Su Yu suddenly shouted happily. After playing so many games of mahjong, this is the first time I have played tiles. No wonder Su Yu was so happy. At this moment, Li Xiao walked in. He saw the 3 immortals, and he quickly clasped his fists and saluted. Junior Li Xiao has met the 3 seniors. Well, he is a very good young man. Immortal praised him. You can see that the bones are very extraordinary. You have been practicing since childhood, right? The immortal demon looked at it with a smile. The technique is not bad, it's martial Dao, but it's not the same as the martial Dao I'm familiar with. The immortal demon's eyes showed surprise. With just one glance, they took a look at Li Xiao. Li Xiao was shocked. Su Yu was slightly surprised. Are you here to see little Su Yu? Immortal waved his hand, stuffed the chicken into Su Yu's hand again, and said, you guys go outside to chat, we are going to have a rest. Li Xiao was embarrassed, but he didn't dare to disobey, so he left quickly. When Su Yu was about to leave, Immortal suddenly spoke. Little Su Yu, don't be afraid. If the sky falls, tall people will bear it. When the time comes, we will take you to run away. Cheng Shengxian said gently. We will definitely not fight, but if you run away, if we run, it will be difficult for anyone to catch us. When the time comes, we will find a place to live together for 300 to 500 years, and you will come out to take revenge. Thank you 3 immortal seniors. Su Yu smiled, then turned and left. As for living alone for 300 to 500 years, he never thought about it at all. Outside, Su Yu saw Li Xiao. After Li Xiao explained his purpose, Su Yu said, Minister, it doesn't make any sense for you to approach me about this matter. I am the passive party, and my say in this matter does not count. Su Yu expressed his helplessness. If you really want to solve the problem, you have to go to Lu Chu Tang, preferably Lu Chu Sha. I know, but Li Xiao looked very embarrassed. He also knew that, but if he went to find Lu Chu Tang or Lu Chu Sha, who would listen to him? However, before he finished speaking, he saw Su Yu running away. Minister, don't come to me again. I have to dig for treasure maps today. I'm very busy. Su Yu's voice came from afar. That's all, I'll report the matter to the superiors and see how they handle it. Li Xiao was helpless and could only leave. In Tianhe City, Su Yu moved quickly. He didn't have Li Xiao's speed and couldn't dig out 100 treasure maps in the shortest time. However, with his current speed, it is still much faster than before. Every time he found a place, Su Yu would look at it intently and take a look at the golden writing. In the past, a jade rabbit left a drop of feces here. There is a sea inside this place. Once it is opened, the entire Tianhe city will turn into a vast ocean. There are 10 zombies sealed here, you can kill them randomly. Seeing the prompt for the 3rd treasure map, Su Yu used the treasure map directly without any hesitation. A space emerged. 10 zombies were awakened and they rushed out immediately. However, with a flash of the sword, all 10 zombies were filled with hatred. Su Yu continued to act. There are 99 zombies sealed here, you can kill them at will. Looking at the golden writing, Su Yu used the treasure map again. 99 zombies rushed out. The light of the sword reflects the sky and the earth. All 99 zombies fell to the ground. Su Yu doesn't need to dig up these 2 treasure maps at all. But after thinking about it, Su Yu dug it anyway. You can't dig up good things all the time, which will inevitably arouse some people's suspicions. Once or twice, it can be said to be luck or coincidence. 8 times out of 10, if you insist on saying it, it can be justified even if you force it. But if it keeps doing this, it won't work. Su Yu felt that he had to learn to protect himself. The first step to protect himself was to disguise himself. Keep digging. Su Yu followed the locations marked on the treasure map and rushed there one after another. There is a flowery underpants worn by a dog sealed here. Wearing it on your body can improve your strength to a certain extent. If you put it around your neck, your strength will be greatly improved. Su Yu looked at the golden writing and frowned. It's this thing again. Anyway, I can't wear it out. Not to mention, this was worn by a dog. Su Yu didn't hesitate and immediately used the treasure map. A flowery pantyhose appeared. It looks pretty new. Su Yu stretched out his hand, and the flowery pants fell into his palm. Then, he understood the function of the flowery pants. Wearing it on the body will increase your cultivation by 50%. Put it around your neck and increase your cultivation level by 70%. However, no matter how much the promotion is, it can only be promoted to War King rank 9 at most. I'm just a War King, so it's a complete waste for me to use this thing. But, I am quite destined to be with Captain Lei Gang Lei. Su Yu nodded, fully agreeing with his idea. Next, Su Yu continued to find a place to dig for treasure maps. Here is an apple that someone took a bite of. Here is a plate of braised pork from 1,000,000 years ago. There are 1,000 bottles of Laoganma here. I kept digging until 2:30 in the afternoon. Su Yu was about to collapse. I visited almost 400 places in total, but I only dug 100 of them. Among them, more than 80 treasure maps are all dangerous. We even dug up several other sovereign-level beings. Fortunately, Su Yu was not afraid of them, and the dog-headed guillotine killed them directly. Most of the remaining 20 treasure maps are not dangerous, and only one of them actually unearthed the treasure. That is, flower pants. Grass. Did my luck run out? Su Yu couldn't help but become suspicious. After digging up 400 treasure maps, he found a pair of flowery pants. There is no way to dig now. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we will kill the 7 Kills cult members and it will be broadcast live across the country. I can't be late. Su Yu calmed down and quickly rushed to the square opposite the Night Watch branch. Here, the Night Watchman has a post every 3 steps and a sentry every 5 steps, and the guards are very tight. A total of more than 1,100 followers of the 7 Kills cult were all escorted here. They were kneeling on the ground, their hands tied behind their backs, and their mouths gagged. A faint mark appeared between Su Yu's eyebrows, which was Grand Master Wen Zhongwen's third divine eye. The third divine eye looked around and saw that among the 7 Kills cult members kneeling on the ground, there was not a single good person. Su Yu, if you don't come, I'm going to call you. Seeing Su Yu, Lindsay hurriedly said, "We are ready here. It will be broadcast live and everyone across the country can see it." After a pause, she pulled Su Yu aside and asked in a low voice, "Do you want to wear a mask? To avoid revenge?" "No need." Su Yu shook his head and said with a smile, "I am alone and have no fear of revenge at all." Su Yu realized that he had obtained the killing book, and condensed the divine text with the word, kill. If he wanted to become stronger, how could he do it without killing people? But you can't kill people indiscriminately. If you want to kill, you must kill the person who deserves it. For example, the followers of the 7 Kills cult. If someone takes revenge on you, that is the person who deserves to be killed. Good guy, who will take revenge on him? Can the person who takes revenge on him be a good person? Then, okay. Lindsay stopped trying to persuade and said, "Then be careful." "Well, I understand." Su Yu nodded, suddenly feeling something. He raised his eyes and looked over. I saw Li Xiao, Lei Gang, Zhang Tian and Lu Chutang walking slowly. As if sensing Su Yu's gaze, Lu Chutang also looked over, with a very unkind look. However, since we were in public now, it was difficult to get angry, so we didn't say anything. Suddenly, Su Yu grinned. He had just glanced at Grand Master Wen Zhongwen with his third divine eye. Lu Chutang was not a good person either. Moreover, they are even worse than the followers of the Seven Kills cult. How did such a bad person become a high-ranking member of the Night Watch? Su Yu couldn't understand. Soon, it's 3 o'clock. Su Yu took out the 7-killing sword given by Li Xiao. Here's a cult. Anyone who finds it will be punished. Kill without mercy. Poof. Su Yu cut it off with one strike. The light of the sword reflects the world. Suddenly, heads were rolling in. In the distance, Lu Chutang's expression changed. Su Yu was not killing the followers of the 7 Kills sect. He was clearly trying to kill him. Su Yu's murderous aura soared into the sky, as if it had condensed into substance. This murderous intent was aimed at the followers of the 7 Kills sect, and also at Lu Chutang. Lu Chutang, fighting like a majestic warrior, naturally can't feel it. At this moment, not only Lu Chutang felt it, but Li Xiao also felt it. Li Xiao's expression couldn't help but change. Lu Chutang was still here. By doing this, wouldn't you have offended Lu Chutang in vain? It's really not necessary. However, Su Yu sneered and slashed with his sword again. The light of the sword shone in all directions, and heads were rolling in again. Offended Lu Chutang. When the 7 Kills monument fell silent, when the 7 Kills monument could not be controlled by him, when Lu Chutang only offered the highest price of 3 million, he had already offended. Now that I have been offended, do I still need to be cautious and not dare to offend? It's really unnecessary. If Lu Chutang was sensible and left now, Su Yu could barely act as if nothing had happened. Otherwise, don't blame me for flipping the table. It's really hateful. Lu Chutang snorted coldly, looked ugly, and walked away. At the same time, throughout Daxia, all TV stations were broadcasting live. Su Yu kills people with a knife. In the past 3 years, many places have adopted the same iron-blooded tactics as Su Yu. However, it has never been broadcast live anywhere. Tianhe City, the first one. In other words, Su Yu was the real first one. Not only did he propose to kill them all, but he also wanted to broadcast them live nationwide. If it weren't for Su Yu's suggestion, even if Li Xiao agreed to kill them all, he most likely wouldn't have broadcast it live. Too bloody. Moreover, it is too easy to stimulate the 7 Kills cult, or even other cults. However, Su Yu didn't care. No matter what era, cults should not exist. They are all bad people. Since they are bad people, then they should all be killed. Even if this process will definitely stimulate the cult, it will definitely lead to their revenge, leading to more sacrifices. But Su Yu felt that he still had to kill. Until there is no more cult, and until no one dares to be a bad guy anymore. What a Su Yu. There are so many people in the Kill Me 7 Kills sect, just wait to die. On a certain island country, the leader of the 7 Kills cult was also watching the live broadcast, his eyes full of anger. Su Yu, come here, check out Su Yu's detailed information. If I can't deal with Su Yu, then I can't deal with your family. I'll capture all your parents, brothers and sisters and kill them live for you to watch. In a grotto heaven, a senior member of the 7 Kills sect spoke in a deep voice. Who is killing the 7 Kills sect? It's us who are killing. We and the 7 Kills sect will both prosper and suffer. In another grotto heaven, a figure dressed in strange clothes said, in this era this person is really bloody and not afraid of death at all. Come here, arrange for our people to check the information of this person named Su Yu first. Su Yu, I have never heard of such a person before. Let's arrange for someone to check first. Su Yu's live broadcast of killing people from the 7 Kills cult. Does this mean the Tianhe branch of the Night Watch, or does it mean the Night Watch headquarters? If it is the intention of the Night Watch headquarters, then things will be in trouble. Tianhe City, opposite the Night Watch branch. Su Yu's face didn't change, and he didn't even blink. He raised the knife and dropped it, and heads flew up one after another. These people should all deserve to be killed. Today, I killed a lot of people. Soon, more than 1,100 people from the 7 Kills sect were all executed. Facing the camera, Su Yu raised his voice and said, I know that there are many cult people watching the live broadcast. You must be eager to kill me at this moment, right? I'm in Tianhe City, waiting for you to come and kill me. Whoever doesn't come will be my grandson. Su Yu was provoking. Yes, it's provocation. Even though Su Yu was only the war king now, he still issued a provocation with great courage. I'm in Tianhe City, waiting for you to come and kill me. Are you coming? If you don't come, your reputation will be discredited. From now on, when people talk about cults, they will only say that cults are really cowardly. Su Yu was frightened by just one sentence. Here you are, do you really think you can kill me? When the time comes, it's really not certain who will kill whom. Maid, Li Xiao cursed secretly, am I thinking too much? How could I adopt Su Yu's opinion? With such a provocation, how many cult members will swarm here next? What can Tianhe City do to stop them? Lin Zi, Lei Gang, and Zhang Tian were also shocked, their eyes filled with worry. Tianhe City has faced several crises in just a few days. It was difficult to get through them all safely, but from now on, it is afraid that it will have to face more crises. Su Yu, not bad. General Bai has been watching silently in the dark. After seeing Su Yu's behavior, he was not worried at all, just like me, kill them all. After thinking about it, he found a deserted place and called Hao Tianlu, send Yi Tianming to carry out the mission, and then ask Yi Tianming to come to Tianhe City secretly. Something may happen here. I've made arrangements. This Su Yu is really a headache. Hao Tianlu said helplessly on the phone. He is also watching the live broadcast. From a personal perspective, he admired Su Yu very much and felt that Su Yu killed well. But from the position of the person in charge of the East District 1 of the Night Watch, Su Yu's actions may cause great disaster to Tianhe City. Of course, he didn't mean to blame Su Yu, but he had to admit that doing so was really reckless. Yi Tianming, there is chaos in the Demon City right now. I will issue you an order to support the Demon City. Secretly, you go to Tianhe City and stand by. Hao Tianlu spoke helplessly. I understand. The back of the head said lightly, I have an immortal sword that can control the wind for 100,000 miles. In an instant, the figure on the back of the head disappeared. You can really pretend. After the back of the head was gone, Hao Tianlu couldn't help complaining. However, this also has a lot to do with the ancient gold core he dug up. I don't know who this ancient gold core belongs to. In that era, who can pretend best? Hao Tianlu rubbed his temples with a headache. As I get older, my memory is also bad. I can't remember many things. Tianhe City, opposite the Night Watch branch. Su Yu faced the camera, put down his provocative words, and then left. Provocation, really provocation. But Su Yu also understands that he is still very weak now, very weak. If someone really comes to kill me, there is really not much certainty. This is my fate, but it is also my destiny. Su Yu felt that the divine text with the word, kill, in the inner world was beating rapidly. The word, kill, is getting stronger and stronger. Today, there are more than 1,100 followers of the 7 Kill sect. After killing so many people, the sacred text with the word, kill, seems to be full. Go home first, let the word, kill, be advanced, and see what level you can advance to today. Su Yu returned home and was slightly surprised to see the window slightly open. Suddenly, Saint Xing Yishan flew in from the window. Xing Yishan, you came back just in time. I want to improve my cultivation. Please keep an eye on me and don't let anyone disturb me. Su Yu quickly returned to his bedroom. Today, too many people were killed. When digging for treasure maps, you kill a lot of monsters. Now the quantitative change has produced a qualitative change. The divine text with the word, kill, seems to have been nourished and is improving rapidly. Su Yu returned to the bedroom, closed the door immediately, looked inside the world, and looked at the divine text with the word, kill. It has only been so long that the divine text with the word, kill, has been promoted to rank 7. It's a pity that the divine words for war and sword have not been improved at all. The Sutra of Killing is indeed the only way to become stronger. Kill 10,000 people and you will become a king. The king here should not be the king of war. Endless years ago, I wonder what kind of existence would be called a king. Su Yu thought secretly while improving his cultivation. Outside the door, Xing Yishan's eyes showed surprise. I felt something was wrong yesterday. Now, I am sure that he is taking the path of killing. Anyone who follows the path of killing will spend his whole life either killing or on the road of killing. But it is undeniable that everyone who takes the path of killing is extremely powerful, even terrifyingly powerful. The name can stop a child from crying. His name can make enemies fear him for 100,000 years. She thought of some past events. But in the end, she sighed. Today, she went out to the library and checked a lot of information. But she couldn't find any records of her time. Not even a single word. Perhaps it had long since ceased to exist in her time. The only good thing is that some myths have been passed down. She returned to her room and took out a statue of Guanyin. She bought this outside. She bowed to the statue of Guanyin and whispered, "Disciple Xing Yishan has seen Guanyin. If Guanyin is still alive, please show her spirit." However, after waiting for a long time, there was no movement, and she couldn't help but look disappointed. 30 minutes later, Su Yu came out. Feel refreshed. In the inner heaven and earth, the divine text with the word, kill, has been promoted to War King rank 9. One step away from becoming the War Emperor. As for the divine text with the word, war, it is still rank 2, and the divine text with the word, sword, is even worse, only rank 1. If I hide the word, kill, and only reveal the word, war, then I will be the king of war rank 2. But if I reveal the divine script with the word, kill, then I will be the king of war rank 9. That's good. With the help of divine inscriptions, you can sometimes hide your own cultivation. Su Yu smiled. It's past 4 o'clock, we have to dig for the treasure map. Su Yu glanced at the time and was about to walk outside. Suddenly, he thought of Xing Yishan and knocked on the door. After Xing Yishan came out, he took Xing Yishan to his bedroom and turned on the computer. After spending half an hour teaching Xing Yishan how to simply watch videos online, Su Yu left. Xing Yishan was just dug out and had no understanding of modern times. Su Yu wanted to teach in person, but he really didn't have time, so he simply asked Xing Yishan to watch the video first and understand it briefly. After leaving the door, Su Yu went straight to his destination. Digging for the treasure map in the morning made Su Yu feel a little confused. After visiting 400 places, that is, 400 treasure maps, I dug up a pair of flower pants. Suddenly, Su Yu sensed something, stretched out his left hand, and 10 treasure maps descended. I dug out a lot of dangers today and killed them all. Is this a reward for me? The settlement was quite fast this time. I thought I would have to wait another 2 days. Su Yu's eyes suddenly lit up. If I dig out some dangers, it seems like I've lost a treasure map. But if I kill them all, won't God give me another treasure map? Every time you go out and come in, you have nothing to lose. That's not right either. If only one zombie is unearthed, even if it is killed, the treasure map will not appear. In other words, killing a zombie is not enough to reward a treasure map. If you want to kill, you have to kill the big one. Killing the small ones will only make you lose money. Killing the big ones will at least make you no loss, and you may even make a profit. Besides, I practice the sutra of killing and kill many people. But I can't really kill people, even if it's specifically killing bad guys. How many bad guys in the world can I kill? In the end, aren't we going to be in danger of digging it out? Is it possible that I won't be able to sell treasure maps in the future? Su Yu felt uncomfortable. The path to wealth seems to have been cut off. There is one more way to become stronger, but the other one is also broken. Let's take a look. The divine script with the word, kill, cannot be improved indefinitely. If it continues to be improved, it will probably affect me. Even, one day I will become a monster who only knows how to kill. So, I have to find a way to check and balance. Su Yu was thinking as he left the night watchman's family building and headed towards the location marked on one of the treasure maps. But just 7 or 8 meters away, Su Yu suddenly stopped and looked at the figure walking slowly in front of him. Lu Chutang is here. Su Yu. Lu Chutang was smiling, but his face was completely invisible as he walked away. He smiled and said, I spent 3 million to buy your 7 kills monument. How did you think about it? Not for sale. Su Yu shook his head. Not to mention that the 7 kills monument is currently in his inner world and cannot be taken out. Even if he can take it out, he will not sell it. 3 million, isn't this just bullying? Su Yu, don't be like this. Look, I've come here, it's not easy, so don't worry about it. Sell it to me for 3 million, and I'll pay you immediately. Lu Chutang was still smiling. The price is too low, we can't sell it. Su Yu gradually became impatient. But for now, I can only endure it. I heard that you dug up a lot of good things, including fragments of the Rui golden cudgel, blood-stained fragments of Guanyin in white, one of the 33 incarnations of Guanyin, a dog-headed guillotine, Xuanwang flame, and a dark cloud. I think, with so many treasures, you don't need a 7 kills monument, right? Lu Chutang said slowly. Su Yu's eyes gradually became unkind, but he still resisted the urge to kill in his heart, shook his head and said, but the price you gave is too low. What is the difference between 3 million and a dime? Hey, Su Yu, why don't you listen to my advice? I'm doing this for your own good. Lu Chutang sighed and said, the 7 kills monument is a disaster or not a blessing. You can't control it. In this world, there are many people who want the 7 kills monument, you can't stop them. I also want you to be young and have endless potential in the future, so I want to take on the troubles of the 7 kills monument for you, so that you can have the opportunity to become stronger. Why are you so ignorant of good people's hearts? Hearing this, Su Yu opened his mouth, wanting to say something, but in the end, he simply closed his mouth. With this kind of person, everything you say is in vain. So, Su Yu turned around and left. There are people blocking the road here, but not on the other side. But who would have thought that Lu Chutang was completely shameless and followed directly behind him, chattering non-stop, Su Yu, let's do this. I'll take a small loss and give you another 1 million for a total of 4 million. You can kill the 7 kills monument, how about giving it to me? I say it again, 4 million is too low. Su Yu turned around and said word by word. Why are you modern people so stingy? As a human being, don't worry about everything. Suffering is a blessing. Lu Chutang's voice gradually became colder, and he was very unkind. Is it a blessing to suffer a loss? Then I wish you blessings like the East Sea. Su Yu's eyes were full of murderous intent, and he slashed out with a knife. This knife was as fast as lightning. However, facing such a knife, Lu Chutang's eyes showed no surprise, let alone fear. Instead, there was a sense of success in his conspiracy. Yes, he did it on purpose. If Su Yu agrees, then of course it is best. It will be good for you and everyone. If Su Yu doesn't agree, then Su Yu will be forced to take action. Su Yu suddenly committed an attack. As a senior member of the Night Watch, it should be reasonable to kill him on the spot, right? If the knife is faster, just make a cut on my body, and I can kill you. At that time, don't talk about the 7 kills monument, everything you have is mine. You don't have to pay a dime, everything is mine. Lu Chutang thought expectantly, but the next moment, he was stunned. Su Yu struck with his knife and suddenly stopped when he was still 1 foot away from him. Su Yu put away the knife. Lu Chutang, get lost. Don't insult me again. Don't say it's 4 million, even if it's 40 million, I won't sell it. Su Yu calmed down, stared at Lu Chutang, and said coldly. After saying that, Su Yu turned around and left. Lu Chutang moved, wanting to catch up, but still didn't. He could see that Su Yu was determined not to sell the 7 kills monument. Why, I'm willing to pay 4 million, why don't you want to sell it to me? 4 million is enough for you to sleep flat for the rest of your life. Why aren't you willing? If it doesn't work, you can just increase it to 10 million. In this way, I can at least keep 90 million. Su Yu, it's all your fault. I am polite first and then attack. I have fulfilled my courtesy. Now, don't blame me. Lu Chutang's eyes became fierce. He glanced left and right and found that no one was paying attention to him, so he quickly left. After finding a deserted place, Lu Chutang made a phone call. After a long time, the call was connected. Have you got the 7 kills monument? Lu Chushaw's voice came from the other end of the phone. Clan leader, I regret to tell you that Su Yu rejected our conditions. Lu Chutang sighed and said helplessly. Oh, not even 100 million. On the other side, Lu Chusha frowned, thought for a while and said, the 7 kills monument is priceless, and 100 million is indeed not enough. It seems that someone should have pointed it out to Su Yu. After a pause, he asked on the phone, so, how much does Su Yu want before he is willing to sell the 7 kills monument to us? Su Yu said that the 7 Kills monument was worth a fortune. He wouldn't sell it even if it was 10 billion, let alone 100 million. He even told me to get out. Lu Chutang said angrily. So arrogant. Lu Qiusha was also angry on the phone. After a while, he said, okay, you come back in an upright manner, and I will personally handle the matter of the 7 Kills monument. Clan leader, how about I stay here and grab it directly? Lu Chutang volunteered, wanting to take advantage of others. Not for the time being. Lu Qiusha rejected Lu Chutang's idea. This is no longer our era. We need to abide by the rules of this era. Besides, Hao Tianlu has already looked for me. He warned me that if he catches me, he will kill me directly. Lu Chutang was silent. Hao Tianlu is too strong. The Lu Qiu clan is the strongest force among the night watchmen in the East District. However, Hao Tianlu can still beat them and become the person in charge of East District 1, which shows how terrifying Hao Tianlu is. This is an extremely terrifying existence. Even they have not figured out the details of Hao Tianlu and have the foundation to grasp it. I know, I'll be right back. Lu Chutang hung up the phone. 10 minutes later, Lu Chutang's aura spread in all directions and he left Tianhe City in a swaggering manner. Along the way, Lu Chutang didn't hold back his breath. He just told everyone that he was leaving. Tianhe City, the newly built heaven and earth. Su Yu stood on the top of the building and watched Lu Chutang leave with his own eyes, frowning involuntarily. Lu Chutang walked away quickly, his aura spreading in all directions. Why are you so arrogant? Unless, Su Yu narrowed his eyes and thought of the possibility that Lu Chutang was creating evidence of alibi. So, the Lu Qiu clan is going to deal with me. Su Yu's eyes narrowed slightly, and suddenly, he laughed so murderously that the guests in heaven and earth trembled. Come on, let me see how you can deal with me. Su Yu took out a treasure map and checked it carefully. Location, yes, heaven and earth, rooftop. Su Yu looked attentively. There is a dragon sealed here. It likes to eat people. If you work hard, you can still kill it. Looking at the golden handwriting, Su Yu's face suddenly became happy. After digging so much, I have to dig out a dragon too. Without any hesitation, Su Yu immediately used the treasure map. A space emerged. Su Yu looked inside, his eyes suddenly shrank, and there was a dragon lying inside. All around its body were piles of white bones. Boom. An extremely terrifying aura spread out, and Su Yu couldn't help but retreat. The next moment, a dragon woke up and emerged from the space. Its figure stretches across the sky. Haha, this dragon finally came out, I want to eat. Before he finished speaking, the sky suddenly darkened, and a bloody mouth spread quickly from outside Tianhe City and took one bite. The dragon that had just emerged was swallowed directly. That is the ancient python. It escaped that day. But who would have thought that it had been hiding outside the city? Today, when I saw a dragon flying out, I couldn't help it immediately. That's a dragon I dug up. Su Yu roared. In his eyes, it was not a dragon, but treasure maps. Su Yu felt that if he really killed this dragon, the War King rank 9, he would need at least 10 treasure maps. Big loss. Not only are 10 treasure maps gone, but 1 treasure map is also lost. You're welcome. The voice of the ancient python came from outside the city. Next time there is a dragon, I will kill it for you for free. Facing the ancient python, Su Yu was helpless. This one is very strong. Even stronger than when it came out that day. It's just a dragon. When I get stronger, I'll capture you and make you my mount. Su Yu comforted himself. Now, it is not suitable to expose too much, because you still have to face Lu Qiu kill. Therefore, I will let the ancient python go for the time being. Su Yu continued to dig for treasure maps in different places until night, and dug out 20 treasure maps. As a result, I felt lonely. Nothing was dug up except the first dragon. Some dangers were taken care of easily, but as for the treasures, there really weren't any. Before going home, dig up another treasure map. Su Yu's eyes were red. He was really unlucky today. But, still have to dig. Lu Chutang's high-profile departure made him feel a strong crisis. Therefore, it must be dug. Soon, Su Yu arrived at the target location and looked at it intently. Sealed here is half of the lotus silk walking cloud walk of the great saint. It contains a trace of the power of the great saint. As far as you are concerned, it does not pose any danger. Looking at the golden handwriting, Su Yu was stunned and excited inside. Lotus root silk steps on the clouds. Kishan great saint's shoes. Dig. Must dig. Su Yu immediately used the treasure map, the space emerged, and he saw half a shoe. Is this the lotus root silk stepping cloud lure? Su Yu reached out and took out half of the lotus root silk stepping cloud lug, frowning together. It's really only half of it, and only the back half is very tattered. Without prompting, Su Yu would never associate this thing with the great saint's lotus root silk steps. No matter how you look at it, they are not the same thing. What happened back then? The Rui golden cudgel is broken, the lotus root silk steps are in tatters, and there is only half of it. One of the 33 incarnations of Guanyin, Guanyin in white, may be in danger. After all, I even dug out the white fragments of Guanyin in white. There is also the underworld. Although I didn't dig it, I know that the underworld was also broken into pieces. Su Yu lowered his head and looked at half of the lotus root silk walking shoes with a solemn expression. At this time, Su Yu discovered that he had established a connection with this half of the lotus root silk. There were no obstacles, everything seemed to fall into place. Now, I have another trump card. If Lu Qiusha attacks me, I will be more confident of counterattack. Su Yu felt like he was in control of his own destiny. Suddenly, Su Yu frowned. I had a strange phenomenon when I dug out the white fragments of Guanyin in white. But I dug out the fragments of the great saint's Rui golden cudgel, and why did this half of the lotus root make no movement when it walked on the clouds? Nothing. Su Yu was confused. Okay, it's time to go back. Su Yu thought for 3 seconds, but without thinking clearly, he walked towards the night watchman's family building. When he got downstairs, Su Yu first went to Grotto Heaven, gave some food to the 3 longevity beings, and played mahjong with them for a while. When leaving, Immortal suddenly spoke solemnly. Little Su Yu, your bloody disaster is a bit serious. How serious is it? Su Yu knew that these 3 people were not simple, so he quickly sat down again. The last time I saw you, you would suffer a bloody disaster in the past 2 days and escape from death. But now, if I look at you again, you will suffer a bloody disaster within 1 day, and you will still die without a chance of death. The Immortal's gaze more solemn. Then, he suggested, how about we take you away? Let's go out and live for 300 years, and then we can dance on his grave. If that doesn't work, 500 years will do. Don't worry, as long as we are here, you will have no problem living for 300 to 500 years. When Su Yu heard this, he looked at Immortal with some suspicion. Does this immortal exist and speak so fashionably? Do you still know how to dance on the grave? That's right, little Su Yu, it's too dangerous outside. The immortal demon said. We give in when he's at his peak, and when he's old, we'll do our best again. The immortal demon didn't hold back and began to persuade. Thank you to the 3 immortal seniors. Su Yu stood up and grinned. But, I think I can win this time. Yes, Su Yu felt that he could win now. Not only because of his current trump card, but also because he can see the hint of the treasure map. This is completely unknown to the 3 immortal beings. In that case, let me help you take a look at the future. Immortal didn't want to get involved, but after struggling for a while, he still couldn't hold back and wanted to help Su Yu. On the side, the immortal demon and the immortal demon both looked at the immortal in surprise. This was different from the immortal they knew, but they didn't say much. Immortal stretched out his left hand and blew gently. This breath turned into a little person in the palm of his hand, without facial features or face. The villain is alive. It knelt in the palm of Immortal's hand and kowtowed in all directions. After knocking down 8 times in a row, he stood up and danced like a master. Immortal's eyes were focused, as if he had seen something, but in the next moment, the little man in his palm collapsed, and the stone bench on which Immortal was sitting collapsed and turned into powder. What did you see? The immortal demon asked in shock. I didn't see anything. Immortal's eyes became extremely solemn. I saw a fog, and when I was about to clear the fog and take a closer look, I was forcibly interrupted. In an instant, all 3 people looked at Su Yu. Is the problem coming from little Su Yu, or from the person who wants to kill Su Yu? Asked the immortal demon. I don't know, Immortal said, but we can rule it out. He looked at Su Yu and asked, "Little Su Yu, do you know who wants to kill you?" "Well, it's a night watchman named Lukyu Sha, who wants to kill me. He is an ancient man who was dug up 3 years ago." Su Yu thought for a while and said, "Let the immortal do the math. At least, you have greater certainty. If you know what you are going to order in advance, you can prepare early." "Okay, wait, let me find this person first." Immortal closed his eyes. Su Yu vaguely felt as if something was spreading out of Immortal's body and out of Grotto Heaven. After a while, Immortal opened his eyes and blew into his left hand. This breath turned into a little man, who knocked 8 times in all directions, and then jumped into the Great Spirit again. After a while, the villain stopped and slowly dispersed. "I see." The Immortal spoke slowly, "That person has 2 inheritances. He can kill people invisible and not exist in history. It is really a good method." Su Yu couldn't help but frown when he heard this. 2 inheritances. Can you still kill people invisible and not exist in history? The previous sentence is easy to understand, but how to understand this, does not exist in history. "Senior, please give me some advice," Su Yu said sincerely. I can't teach you. It's not easy to understand you now." Immortal waved his hand and said with a smile, "However, since you think you can win, you might as well give it a try." "Huh." Su Yu looked suspicious. Immortal Cheng Sheng's attitude suddenly changed. What did he see? "Go. It's okay." Cheng Shengxian smiled and waved his hand. The Immortal Demon and the Immortal Demon also looked baffled. But they didn't ask now. "Thank you 3 immortal seniors." Su Yu nodded, turned and left. After Su Yu left, the Immortal Demon couldn't help but ask, "What did you just see?" "Which time are you asking about?" Immortal asked. "Nonsense, it must have been twice." The Immortal Demon couldn't wait, his eyes full of curiosity. "The second time, I saw the 2 inheritances of the Lukyu kill, mentioned by Xiao Su Yu. As long as we are here, even if we don't take action, his other inheritance will be of no use." Immortal Cheng Sheng squatted down and held a pile of powder. It quickly reversed itself and turned into a stone bench again. He sat down and said slowly, "As for the first time, I pushed through the fog and saw." Pooh. Suddenly, Immortal vomited blood, and his face turned uglier than crying. He said helplessly, it can't be said. This matter cannot be said, I can only rot in my stomach." The Immortal Demon and the Immortal Demon looked at each other in confusion. What did the Immortal see that he couldn't even say? Return home. Su Yu saw that Saint Xing Yishan was already meditating, so he did not interrupt. Just as he was about to close the door, he suddenly raised his eyes and looked at the Guanyin statue being offered by Xing Yishan, feeling slightly surprised. Shaking his head, Su Yu closed the door, returned to the bedroom, turned on the bed and fell asleep. "I've been running all day and I'm so tired. Even the King of War will get tired and have to sleep." Soon, Su Yu fell into a deep sleep. But in the middle of the night, Su Yu was suddenly awakened, rushed out of the family building, appeared on the roof, and looked up. At the far end of the night, the flames surged into the sky, as if they had turned into day. An extremely terrifying aura wafted in, making Su Yu feel a little difficult to breathe. "What happened?" Su Yu asked. "I don't know, but there is a high probability that someone has dug up another terrible thing." Lin Zi stood next to Su Yu in thin pajamas and said solemnly. At this moment, the 2 men's night watches vibrated. At the same time, piercing sirens sounded throughout Tianhe City. "Let's go to the branch," Lin Zi said. The 2 quickly put on their clothes and hurried to the night watch branch. Arriving at the night watch branch, Su Yu found that the branch was brightly lit. All the night watchmen took action. After seeing the 2 of them, Li Xiao spoke quickly. "About 100 kilometers away from the city center, someone dug up a war king. Lei Gang has already arrived and is fighting with the monster. Zhang Tian is also on his way there. Lin Zi, Su Yu, you stay and take charge of the branch. I suspect someone is causing trouble. This time there may be some trouble." Boom, boom, boom. Terrifying fluctuations were heard from all directions in Tianhe City. Suddenly, Li Xiao's face became uglier than ever. "Lin Zi, take someone to take a look," Li Xiao said quickly. Then, he looked at Su Yu and said, "Su Yu, come with me. I have something to tell you." Su Yu, what is happening now may be aimed at you. When he arrived in the office, Li Xiao spoke with a very solemn expression. But the current information is limited. I can't be sure whether the cult is targeting you or the Lukyu killer is targeting you. Or, they may both be targeting you. I've already contacted people in East District 1. Something happened there too. I don't know if it's a coincidence. When Su Yu heard this, his heart sank. It's too much of a coincidence, so it's not a coincidence, it's definitely a conspiracy. Someone dug up a lot of terrifying existences outside the city. As a night watchman, I have to provide support. I can't do it, and neither can you. If this time it is really against you, they will take action against you regardless of whether you go to support or not. This is a conspiracy. Li Xiao sighed, blaming Su Yu for Barry's provocation. But the matter has come to this, no matter how much we say now, it doesn't make any sense. The most important thing should be how to overcome the difficulties at hand. This is a treasure I dug up. It can make people teleport. If you carry it with you, it can save your life at critical moments. Li Xiao took off a wristband, put it on Su Yu's hand, and whispered, it can only teleport up to 30 kilometers at a time. You are just an ordinary war king now, so you have to use it leisurely. Su Yu now understands why Li Xiao was able to teleport when he was the king of war. It turns out that he is carrying a special treasure. Su Yu, that's all I can do. What you have to do is to survive as much as possible. Li Xiao said very seriously. The East District is very busy now, but if necessary, they will come to support as much as possible. Li Xiao felt a little heavy in his heart. Even if he knew that someone deliberately dug up the danger, he would still go. Su Yu is a human being. The citizens of Tianhe City are also human beings. No one is nobler than anyone else. The only thing Li Xiao could do was to give his treasure to Su Yu. He hoped that Su Yu's life could be saved at the critical moment. After the explanation, Li Xiao walked out of the office and raised his voice, Su Yu, take people to the south immediately. Li Xiao ordered. Someone discovered danger outside the city, and the night watchman could not ignore it. Lei Gang, Zhang Tian, and Lin Zi have already gone out to perform tasks. However, the danger outside the city goes far beyond this, and Su Yu must fight. Boom, boom, boom. Outside the city, more places were dug up, and terrifying existences descended. On the contrary, the city center was very peaceful, as if no one was digging for a treasure map. Li Xiao took out his mobile phone and made a call. Soon, in the city center, a tall figure carrying a stereo came to support. There was also a young man who also walked out with a woman in ancient costume. There is also a chessboard flying towards the outside of the city. Boom! Suddenly, in the north, a huge humanoid creature walked out, and its terrifying aura covered the sky and the sun, which was very terrifying. Li Xiao sighed, and the War Emperor's aura spread out, spreading all the way to the north. No one has arrived yet. Each other's breaths collided together, and in an instant, all the nearby vegetation turned into powder. Who is coming to my Daxia? Li Xiao's figure walked all the way north and spoke from a distance, if you don't want to be an enemy of my Daxia, please retreat quickly. Li Xiao was unwilling to fight in person. If he didn't take action, maybe he could still support Su Yu. But if he takes action and is restrained, then Su Yu can only rely on himself. Boom! The humanoid creature didn't speak either, and the terrifying power was released, as if it was about to submerge the world. Not only did it not retreat, but it went all the way south, and soon started fighting with Li Xiao who was heading north. At the same time, Su Yu was quickly heading south. They had just fought against the Seven Kills sect in the south, and now they were about to fight again. But soon, Su Yu felt something and looked back. The night watchman who followed him out was stopped as soon as they walked out of the city center. Now, the fight has begun. In other words, now he is alone. This is really a game against me, but do you really think that I, Su Yu, am easy to bully? Su Yu snorted and moved faster. Soon, Su Yu saw the terrifying existence that was dug out. It was a creature that looked like a sheep. But the strange thing is that it has 4 horns. It was chewing in its mouth, and blood was flowing down. Su Yu's eyes narrowed. It's eating people. At this time, Su Yu thought of what this creature was. It is a soil mole, also called a 4-horned sheep. This kind of creature is recorded in the Mountain and Sea Sutra. Suddenly, the mole stopped chewing, raised its head, and stared at Su Yu dimly. The next moment, it dropped the flesh and blood it was chewing and rushed towards Su Yu. The terrifying aura was released from its body. This is a being who is new to the War Emperor. Very scary. Here comes someone. I'll serve you with a guillotine. Su Yu raised his voice. The sound is like a loud bell, hitting the ground with a loud sound. Suddenly, the dog-headed guillotine flew out across the sky, and 4 illusory figures emerged. The 2 figures went straight towards the soil cricket. At this moment, Tumo seemed to sense something. When he looked at the dog-headed guillotine, a look of deep fear flashed in his eyes. But before it could make a further reaction, 2 phantoms came together, forcibly suppressed it, and then dragged it towards the dog's guillotine. Even if it is fighting against other sovereign-level beings, it cannot resist these 2 figures. I'm willing to surrender. Don't kill me. Suddenly, the earthworm uttered human words. You eat people and you still want to live. Su Yu's eyes were filled with murderous intent. Open the guillotine. The guillotine was raised, and with a bang, it was slashed down. He was as strong as other sovereign-level bugs and was killed in an instant. As Su Yu's strength increased, the power of the dog-headed guillotine also increased greatly. It's not easy to defeat a newcomer who has just joined the War Emperor. There seems to be no danger in the south now. Next, I will provide support. Su Yu suddenly frowned, his figure swayed, and he moved away. A long spear passed through the position where he was standing just now. Su Yu raised his eyes and saw that on the way he came, a figure was walking towards him carrying a long spear. As it gets closer and closer, the aura on its body becomes more and more terrifying. Another War Emperor. When there were still dozens of meters away, the opponent stopped and pointed his gun at Su Yu with murderous intent. Su Yu, didn't you say that you were in Tianhe City, waiting for us to kill you? Now that I'm here, how do you want to die? The tip of the spear was stained with blood and was cold. It was obvious that this spear had killed many people and was a powerful weapon. I'm just afraid of you, you don't have the qualifications. Su Yu sneered and raised his voice, here comes someone. I'll serve you with a guillotine. The sound is like a bell. Really impressive. However, this time, there was no movement from the dog-headed guillotine. Su Yu was sure that it was not that he was not strong enough, but that the dog-headed guillotine did not respond. Su Yu, you haven't thought that the dog-headed guillotine is useless to me, have you? The visitor sneered, and a cold light flickered on the tip of the gun. You are the night watchman. Su Yu seemed to have thought of something, his eyes narrowed, and he spoke in a deep voice. The dog-head guillotine specializes in guillotining civilians who have committed capital crimes. But obviously, the current dog-headed guillotine is no longer the same as what Su Yu knew. But one thing hasn't changed. That is, those who were guillotined were ordinary people who had committed capital crimes. Looking at it from another perspective, those who were guillotined were those who had no official status. The person here can be a literal meaning, or it can refer to all existences without official bodies. For example, the earth mole that was just killed. Night watchmen are official beings, naturally they are not ordinary people. Therefore, the guillotine failed for the first time. Night watchman, the visitor sneered and said lightly, just say so. It's not important. Anyway, no one will know my identity. He doesn't care. So what if you know? There are so many night watchmen, can you identify who they are? Even if you can be sure, do you have evidence? The Night Watch, as the only official super organization in Daxia, cannot just say yes, it must be reasonable and evidence-based. Without the dog-headed guillotine, what trump card do you have now? The Rui Golden Cudgel. The visitor sneered and thrust out a spear, threatening to nail Su Yu to death. Su Yu drew his knife and struck out with one blow. Suddenly, the tiger's mouth shook, and the pain was excruciating, and the figure was forced to retreat. You are too weak. You are just a war king, but you also want to fight with the war king. Even if I just come with a divine incarnation, you can't beat me. Su Yu, give up. In this way, I can at least make your death a little more pleasant. Suddenly, the person raised his head and looked into the distance unexpectedly. That Li Xiao is not simple. He killed a war king so quickly and was about to come to save you. He chuckled and said lightly, it's a pity that he can't come. If he dares to come, I dare to make Tianhe City history today. Boom. Behind Li Xiao, someone once again dug up an extremely terrifying existence. After Li Xiao saw it, he had to turn around. Su Yu is important. But the citizens of Tianhe City are more important. No matter who is causing trouble this time, if you let me know, we will fight to the death. Li Xiao was furious. Okay, now Li Xiao can't come, let's continue. The man chuckled lightly and fired a shot through the air. Before the terrifying force even got close to Su Yu felt that he would definitely die under this shot. Boom. Suddenly, Su Yu stretched out his hand, and the fragments of the Rui golden cudgel appeared. The next moment, a golden stick crossed the sky and hit the opponent hard. Boom. The figure shattered and turned into divine writings. The divine writings also shattered immediately and dispersed across the world. I have so many divine incarnations, you can kill them as you please. Suddenly, a giant hand appeared, and with a flip of its palm, 3 divine words descended. They turned into 3 figures. Another incarnation of the divine culture. Su Yu has a headache. Who is the night watchman? Why do you have so many divine texts? Even if the leader of the 7 Kills cult has so many divine incarnations, why does this one also have one? Is the person coming Lu Chu Tang or Lu Chu Sha? The incarnations of the 3 gods are all war emperors. Only when the divine text reaches the level of the war emperor can one leave the body and walk the world on behalf of his master. Therefore, as long as the incarnation of the gods, the worst is the war emperor. Su Yu tried to drive the dog-headed guillotine again, but found that the dog-headed guillotine still failed to respond. Then we know that these 3 divine incarnations still come from the night watchman. Only in this way can the current scene be reasonably explained. Boom. Su Yu used the fragments of the Rui golden cudgel again, but the 3 divine bodies separated and attacked from 3 different directions. Boom. A divine incarnation broke into pieces on the spot, turning into divine inscriptions, and the divine inscriptions also shattered. However, the other 2 divine incarnations took the opportunity to kill in front of Su Yu. If the money falls, the life will be lost. Su Yu flicked his finger, and a copper coin flew out and landed on the head of one of the divine avatars. Then, Su Yu's heart moved, and 3,000 hairs flew out and rolled towards another divine incarnation. The distance was too close and it was too late for them to avoid it. The copper coin suddenly fell to the ground. Suddenly, as if some kind of rule was triggered, one of the divine incarnations was about to kill Su Yu, when his whole body suddenly stiffened. The head rolled down. The divine culture incarnates and disintegrates, and the power contained within it escapes to the world. Another divine incarnation was entangled in Ni Xiaochen's 3,000 hair, and for a while, it was impossible to escape. Seeing this scene, another divine incarnation visibly trembled. Obviously, even he did not expect that this copper coin would have such power. If the money falls to the ground, the life will be lost. Suddenly, Su Yu flicked his finger again, and the copper coins flew out and landed on the head of another divine avatar. You Su Yu, you actually have such a treasure. Another divine incarnation did not dare to struggle anymore. If you continue to struggle, once you let the money fall, you will definitely lose your head. Very uneconomical. Poof. However, Su Yu suddenly swung his sword and slashed out with one blow, causing heads to roll. The divine body collapsed. The incarnation of the divine culture is nothing more than that. Su Yu's voice echoed in all directions. Today, I, Su Yu, kill a war emperor earthworm and destroy the 4 divine incarnations. No matter who you are, or who you are. I, Su Yu, am right here, waiting for you to kill me. At this moment, Su Yu's voice resounded throughout Tianhe City, and countless people heard it. Li Xiao suddenly turned around and looked from the air. His heart was shocked. Su Yu, are you so strong? As expected of my half-brother, he is really powerful. Lei Gang was fighting a terrifying being. Hearing Su Yu's voice, he couldn't help but be excited. Su Yu, you are so strong. Zhang Tian looked shocked. It's only been a few days, but you've already surpassed me. Lin Zi was also fighting, and now her expression couldn't help but become very complicated. Su Yu grew up too fast. It seemed that Su Yu had no bottleneck at all. For example, even if she digs out treasures, it will be difficult for her to improve immediately if she has bottlenecks. But Su Yu seems to be different. I said, I have many divine incarnations, you can kill them as you like. See how many you can kill. Suddenly, the giant palm appeared again, and a total of 10 divine symbols fell, all of which turned into divine symbols. Grass. Seeing this scene, Su Yu couldn't help but cursed. Who is it? Lu Chu Tang, or Lu Chu Sha? Why are there so many mythical incarnations? Endless. If this continues, how can we kill? If there are so many divine incarnations, then how tyrannical are they themselves? Weak people do not deserve to have so many divine words. Only the truly strong will have enough resources to expand more divine texts. Therefore, the more divine texts it has, the stronger its strength is. In particular, everyone has a major in divine literature, and that is the most powerful. Su Yu didn't dare to think about it anymore. At this moment, Su Yu felt that his head was as big as an ox. Moreover, this divine incarnation is much stronger than the previous 4 divine incarnations. Even if he can still drive the fragments of the Rui golden cudgel, how many times can he drive it? How many more divine incarnations can be killed? He has a lot of treasures on his body, but no matter what treasures, they need to be driven by their own power. Once the power in the body is exhausted, even if it can barely drive the treasure, the power it can exert will be greatly reduced. Which night watchman are you? Suddenly, General Bai's figure appeared, his sword flashing, protecting Su Yu behind him. He looked at the 10 divine incarnations with a very solemn expression. As General Bai spoke, a divine symbol flew out of his body and turned into an avatar. He lifted Su Yu up into the sky and disappeared into the darkness. Suddenly, the void shook, and another divine writing fell down, turning into a figure and chasing after Su Yu. Poof! General Bai's expression changed before he took action. In the distance, his divine body was broken into pieces. Su Yu is in danger. Someone took action again. Let General Bai's divine body be shattered. Now, things are really in trouble. General Bai's face became very ugly. He was ordered to protect Su Yu, but now, he failed to protect him. Roll! General Bai was furious and roared. Suddenly, a world appeared behind him. In the world, there is a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. At this moment, it seems that there is a strong smell of blood and endless killing intent rushing towards the face, making the 10 divine avatars unable to help but retreat. Vaguely, these divine cultivators seem to be a little unstable and have a tendency to collapse. But in the end it was still a little bit worse. General Bai's figure soared into the sky and headed straight for Su Yu. General Bai, you'd better not go there, I don't want to kill you. Following the sound, a giant hand covering the sky descended from the sky and slapped General Bai to the ground. The 10 gods transformed themselves and immediately pounced on him. They were all unafraid of death and wanted to keep General Bai here and prevent General Bai from supporting Su Yu. At the same time, Su Yu broke out in a cold sweat. General Bai's divine avatar was carrying him and he was running away. But suddenly, the divine body collapsed. Someone took action. Su Yu's figure fell, stood on the ground, and looked up, but there was no trace of panic in his eyes. Another figure walked out. This time, it was no longer a divine incarnation, but a perfected being wearing a mask. Its aura is much more powerful than those of the divine incarnations. Su Yu's heart moved. If it's just one, it's easy to solve. I have a lot of trump cards, and I can easily kill anyone I pick out. If heaven had not given birth to me, Yi Tianming, Daxia would have been like this forever. Suddenly, the back of his head fell from the sky, and a fairy sword buzzed. Yi Tianming, you shouldn't come. You shouldn't get involved in this matter. The masked man interrupted the sound on the back of his head, took out a fan, and slapped the back of his head. Let's go. Along with the words, the back of his head and his fairy sword were blown away. In less than a blink of an eye, it completely disappeared into the night. Banana fan. Suddenly, General Bai's voice came from a distance, who are you? Why is there a banana fan? 2 years ago, a night watchman dug up the banana fan, but the night watchman died that day. The banana fan has disappeared. The senior members of the Night Watch have been pursuing the case for 2 years, but there are no clues. Tonight, the banana fan reappears. This means that the unsolved case from 2 years ago has finally come to light. General Bai, this is not something you should worry about. The masked man walked towards Su Yu and said as he walked, Su Yu, how much power do you still have? Can you still kill the War Emperor? If you can, I will let you kill again, so what? The masked man was very arrogant and didn't take Su Yu seriously at all. Buzz. Suddenly, the world shook, and a golden stick appeared, hitting the opponent fiercely. You can really kill the War Emperor again. It's a pity that you can't kill him in front of me. The other party chuckled lightly and raised his eyes to look at the Rui golden cudgel. A huge tortoise shell flew out of its body and blocked the sky above. The Rui golden cudgel hit the tortoise shell hard. Tortoise shell, intact. The Rui golden cudgel collapsed and turned into dots of Jin Guang. Su Yu's eyes narrowed. After all, it is just a fragment, not the real Rui golden cudgel, and its power is far less than it used to be. Do you think I really didn't make any preparations when I came to kill you tonight? The masked man walked slowly, terrifying power surging within his body, as if it was about to explode at any time. Tisk! Xuanwang flames flew out, and the terrifying high temperature seemed to set the world on fire. But in the next moment, Banana fanned the fan, and the black and yellow flames were unstable and almost extinguished. It finally couldn't bear it and turned into fire, returning to the inner world in Su Yu's body. Xuanwang Yan was restrained. Su Yu's complexion suddenly became extremely ugly. Right now, the other party is getting closer and closer. If he continues like this, he will really die. As for the tiger head guillotine, it wasn't that Su Yu didn't want to use it, but that it was reserved for Lu Qiu to kill. Now that it is used, Lu Qiu will definitely know it in advance and be prepared. What if the tiger's head cannot reach Lu Qiu and is killed? Su Yu has his own considerations. Facing the scene in front of him, Su Yu forced himself to calm down. General Bai was restrained and the back of his head was slapped somewhere. Now, I still have some trump cards, but I won't use them unless absolutely necessary. Because no matter how powerful these divine beings are, they are not as powerful as Lu Qiu Killer. Lu Qiu, that is an existence above the War Emperor. If I can't even deal with these divine incarnations, then dealing with Lu Qiu will be a complete joke. Su Yu's expression was gloomy and uncertain. Suddenly, Su Yu's figure teleported out, and in an instant, he appeared 30 kilometers away. At the same time, a treasure map appeared in Su Yu's hand. Su Yu still has many treasure maps that he hasn't dug yet. Many of them are in the south of Tianhe City. At this moment, Su Yu lowered his head and glanced at the treasure map, quickly determined the location, and rushed over. From behind, the masked man chased after him again. I really didn't expect that Li Xiao would actually bring you the teleportation wristband he dug out. Li Xiao is quite nice to you, but this won't change anything. Li Xiao's teleportation wristband can only give you the speed of a war emperor. This speed can only delay your death for a while, that's all. The man smiled sinisterly, which made people feel uncomfortable. You want me to die? Just dream. Su Yu turned around and snorted coldly. Then, Su Yu lowered his head and looked at the treasure map, and suddenly, golden writing appeared. There is a lake here, and there are hundreds of fish-headed people living in it. Their upper bodies are fish, and their lower bodies are a pair of beautiful long legs. They are full of endless desire for humans, especially for strong humans. Once released, even skin and bones cannot describe you. Looking at the golden handwriting, Su Yu looked happy and used the treasure map without any hesitation. A space emerged. Inside, a lake rippled. At this moment, the masked man came to kill him. Su Yu used Li Xiao's teleportation wristband to teleport away. The man jumped into the air and was about to catch up. Suddenly, his eyes narrowed, his face became solemn, and he quickly retreated. But, it's too late. One by one, the fish-headed men rushed out quickly. Especially the first fish-headed man who rushed out actually had the cultivation of a war emperor, and his aura was terrifying. Wow, what a strong human being. I really want it. The other fish-headed people at the sovereign level uttered human words and immediately pounced on them. Behind it, more fish-headed men came out and rushed toward the masked man quickly. In their eyes, they only see the masked man holding a banana fan. They haven't seen such a strong human being for many years. In the distance, Su Yu's figure appeared. Without any hesitation, he teleported again and appeared behind the masked man. In his hand, another treasure map appeared. There are 10 soil crickets living here. They are very hungry and will eat everyone they see. Looking at the golden writing, Su Yu glanced at the distance between him and the masked man. The distance is very close, less than a kilometer. Dig. Su Yu immediately used the treasure map. Just as the space was about to emerge, Su Yu had already teleported out with the help of the teleportation wristband. At this time, the space emerged, and a total of 10 earthworms rushed out, shouting, "Ba ba." As soon as they came out, they locked onto the masked man at first sight. Without any hesitation, they rushed towards the masked man. At this moment, the masked man took out his banana fan and slapped dozens of fish-headed men away. But the masked man was still surrounded by fish-headed men, and his pants were pulled down. At this moment, a mole jumped up and bit the masked man's thigh hard. Su Yu's figure teleported one after another, digging up treasure maps around the masked man. Terrifying beings descended one after another, and as soon as they appeared, they rushed directly towards the masked man. They all seemed to hate humans. Without even asking, he just started killing. But this also gave Su Yu a chance. Right now, the masked man is surrounded. Even if he holds a banana fan, he can't deal with so many monsters. But it only took a moment before the masked man howled miserably. "Su Yu, we will fight to the death. Just wait for me." Under the night, his body suddenly lit up, and the next moment, the figure disappeared, replaced by a puppet. The masked man ran away. If this continues, the masked man will surely die. Trouble. The masked man escaped. Now, I have to deal with these monsters. Su Yu's expression remained unchanged, holding the fragment of the ruby golden cudgel in his hand. Boom! A golden stick appeared and hit it hard. "Here comes someone. I'll serve you with a guillotine." Su Yu spoke loudly. The sound is like a bell. Really impressive. The fish-headed man in the Battle Emperor realm was dragged in instantly and was guillotined directly. There were several other beings fighting sovereign level, and some were beaten to death by Su Yu with a stick, or their money fell to the ground, their heads were not saved, or they were hit by a guillotine with a dog's head. Soon, it became quiet, and Su Yu stood there, covered in sweat. Killing so many people in one breath is really not the work of a human being. In the inner world, the divine text with the word, "kill," pulses, bright red like blood, as if it is about to advance. If you advance further, you will become the War Emperor. Su Yu couldn't help but feel happy. Sure enough, if you want to become stronger, you still have to rely on killing. Just relying on the treasure map is still a bit slow. Suddenly, the puppet not far away moved. Its figure quickly appeared in front of Su Yu, and then it collapsed and turned into a teleportation force. Su Yu was wrapped in the power of teleportation, and in an instant, his figure disappeared. In Lukyu Grotto Heaven, light flickered, and Su Yu was teleported. "Su Yu, welcome to Lukyu Grotto Heaven." Lukyu stood up in the air and said with a smile, "You don't think that we will really kill you in Tianhe City, do you?" Lu Chuteng pointed downward and said, "This is the place where you were buried." "Then why did you kill me in Tianhe City?" Su Yu frowned, confused. "Because we want to blame the cult and lure Hao Tianlu there." Now, Hao Tianlu has rushed to Tianhe City. Lu Chuteng said with a proud look on his face, "If I kill you here, no one will come to save you." Quote. "Of course, more importantly, as long as I kill you here, all traces of you will be erased. At that time, no one will remember that there is a night watchman in Tianhe City named Su Yu. No one will remember that someone dug up fragments of the Rui Golden Cudgel, dug out the dog head guillotine, dug out Xuanwang Yan, etc. All records about you will disappear, as if you never appeared." Lu Chuteng said proudly, "Since you have never appeared, then if we kill you, no one will know about it, let alone no one will hold you accountable. Are you killing people invisible and not recorded in history?" Su Yu's eyes narrowed and he thought of what Immortal had said. If so, that's really terrible. What kind of method is this? Unheard, unseen, not existing in history means that it will not be remembered. This is the scariest thing. You do know a little bit, it seems you are not simple either. Lu Chuteng shook his head with a smile, but none of this makes any sense. Boom, boom, suddenly, Lukyu Grotto Heaven shook, and the two war kings teleported over. Together with Lu Chuteng, they surrounded Su Yu. The aura on their bodies was as deep as the sea. It was obvious that they were also extremely powerful beings among the war emperors. Su Yu, die. If I kill you and erase your traces, no one in this world will stand up for you. By then, no one will know that we killed you. Lu Chutang laughed loudly and wanted to kill him first. The other two people cooperated tacitly and attacked Su Yu from the other two directions. They believed that with Su Yu's strength, even if he still had some means, he could only deal with one person at most. The other two are absolutely impossible to deal with. In this case, Su Yu will die. You guys, you look down on me, Su Yu. Su Yu's expression remained unchanged, but there was endless killing intent in his eyes. Suddenly, half a lotus root silk walking on the clouds appeared. Even if it is only half a pair, they are still the shoes of the great saint of Kishan. How can there be any simple shoes that can be worn by the great saint? If it were really simple, he would have been lost to Kishan great saint a long time ago. The next moment, taking half of the lotus root silk walking shoes as the starting point, the complete lotus root silk walking cloud shoes were outlined, then one leg, the other leg, then the waist, and finally an illusory figure. At this moment, the fragments of the Rui golden cudgel flew out automatically and fell into the hands of the illusory figure. Although the figure is illusory, everyone can still see it very clearly. He wears chain-locked golden armor, walks on lotus root silk, wears a purple gold crown with phoenix wings on his head, and the Rui golden hoop in his hand reflects the light of heaven and earth. Remember, my name is Kishan Great Saint. Sun Wukong. Kong. At this moment, the whole world was shocked. Everyone looked up in shock. They saw a figure and heard those words. Great Saint Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong. There is a strange phenomenon in the sky and the earth. Did someone dig up the great Saint Sun Wukong? Countless people said the three words, Sun Wukong, and their voices rose and fell one after another. Boom. In Lukyu Grotto Heaven, the great saint hit him hard with a stick. Boom, boom, boom. Lu Chutang and the other two war emperors exploded into blood mist on the spot. With just one blow, 3 war emperors were instantly killed. Su Yu was shocked. So strong. Fortunately, I didn't use it in advance, otherwise, I would have been able to kill only one. At the same time, Lu Chu Sha suddenly felt a little flustered. Could something happen inside Grotto Heaven? Lu Chu Sha frowned. No, I'm afraid something really happened in Grotto Heaven. They are all my people, so we can't make any mistakes. When Lu Chu Sha thought this, his figure disappeared in an instant, and a divine inscription appeared, taking the form of him and continuing to stay here. The whole world is silent. There is also silence in Lukyu Grotto Heaven, and you can hear a needle drop. It's so shocking and terrifying. That stick instantly killed 3 war emperors. Lu Chutang and the other 2 war emperors are not ordinary war emperors. Among the war emperors, they are not weaker than General Bai. Especially Lu Chutang, whose strength is very terrifying. There are even rumors that Lu Chutang is likely to become a being above the war emperor within 3 years. However, no one can survive when the Rui golden cudgel hits. Not even a war emperor as powerful as Lu Chutang. Even the strong men of the Lukyu clan suspected that even Lukyu Sha, who was above the war emperor, would hardly survive. Su Yu thought so too. Loss. If I had known earlier, I would have left this stick to Lu Chu to kill. Lukyu Sha, he is a being above the war emperor, how good would it be to kill him with a stick? Su Yu regretted it very much. Before the teleportation, Su Yu used the Rui golden cudgel without using all his strength. It would be bad if too many trump cards are exposed and the enemy is prepared. Therefore, Su Yu has been enduring it. Just now, facing the 3 war emperors with no one to support him, Su Yu broke out. However, regrets are regrets, Su Yu still feels very happy. But soon, Su Yu's expression couldn't help but change. It's great, it's really great. However, the sequelae came. Now, my whole body is weak and there is not much strength left in my body. Of course, you can still fight, but you can only fight with the King of War. If you fight with the King of War, you will be humiliating yourself. Su Yu, you are so brave, you dared to kill the War King of my Lukyu clan. Suddenly, a war emperor stood up. The Lukyu clan has 3 war emperors, but now, a 4th one has appeared. Its aura is not as strong as Lu Chutang, but it is still very powerful. Su Yu's heart sank. Things are really troublesome. You should have exhausted all your strength with that blow just now. Now, pay for them with your life. Following the sound, the speaker quickly approached, and the terrifying power was released, intending to kill Su Yu here. Want to kill me? Su Yu snorted and took out a white hair. The white hair flickered, and he transformed into a white ape. Lu Chuan, as a night watchman, your clan dares to kill your colleagues. This is a capital crime. Now, if you tie your hands, maybe you still have a chance to make meritorious deeds. Otherwise, your Lu Qiu clan will definitely be exterminated. This is a piece of white hair given to Su Yu by White Ape, but Su Yu has never been willing to use it. Now, I have to use it. Now, as soon as the White Ape appears, he will first take advantage of the situation and let the opponent tie his hands. But at this point, who is willing to tie their own hands? Impossible things. Yuan Chengsheng. Lu Chuan's face darkened and he said, I didn't expect that you would value Su Yu so much. I didn't expect that you, the Lu Qiu clan, would dare to kill your colleagues. Bai Yuan said in a deep voice, I never thought that you, the Lu Qiu clan, agreed to have one sect with 3 battle kings, but in the end, you had one sect with 4 battle kings. No, it's a 5-sect warrior king. Bai Yuan's eyes narrowed and he suddenly looked to the other side, where another war king was approaching. At this moment, Bai Yuan's expression was extremely solemn. If there was only one war emperor, he could still deal with it. Even if you can't deal with it, you can at least delay it for a while and wait for someone to support you. But now, there can be no delay. Yuan Chengsheng, Su Yu is dead, you can't save him. Lu Chuan and another war emperor came to kill them brazenly. Bai Yuan did not hesitate, retreated, grabbed Su Yu, and headed towards the entrance of Lu Qiu Grotto Heaven. It's dead, it's okay. It's just a matter of hair. But Su Yu can't die. However, it is just a hair now, with limited power and limited speed. So, it was quickly blocked. Facing the 2 war kings, Bai Yuan did not dare to be careless. He left Su Yu and said softly, I'll stop them, you find a way to escape. Boom. The White Ape stretched out his hand, the void shook, and an illusory stick appeared. White Ape picked up the iron rod and killed the 2 war kings of the Lu Qiu clan. Boom, boom, boom. In Lu Qiu Grotto Heaven, mountains collapsed and the ground cracked, and the sun and moon lost all light. Su Yu quickly ran towards the entrance. But soon, Su Yu stopped and retreated step by step. Ahead, countless people blocked the way and were getting closer. There was murderous intent in their eyes, and they clearly had bad intentions. A faint mark on Su Yu's eyebrows lit up. He raised his 3rd divine eye, and looked around. There was not a single good person in his sight. Su Yu took off and looked in all directions. More and more people from the Lu Qiu clan were gathering. They are well trained like an army. What's more important is that Su Yu didn't see a good person among them. They are all bad people. The Lu Qiu clan was dug out, and there were more than 30,000 people in total. As a result, there are no good people. At this moment, among the more than 30,000 people who were approaching quickly, there were hundreds of figures soaring into the sky. Their auras are all like war kings. More than 100 war kings. It's really not a thing. You have been dug out. We will treat you well. We will allow you to join the Night Watch and give you the highest benefits. As a result, you have hundreds of war kings hiding here. How many war kings do we have in Tianhe City? There are only 8 war kings in the compilation. Captain Zheng and other 3 captains lead people to guard the 3 grotto heavens in Tianhe City all year round. There are also 3 captains Lin Zi, Lei Gang, and Zhang Tian who guard Tianhe City all year round. There is also a minister Li Xiao. Later, there was another Su Yu. After all the calculations, there are really only 8 people who are preparing the war kings. Of course, now both Lei Gang and Li Xiao have become war emperors. There are so many war kings among you. If 10 of you are sent to guard Tianhe City, how many fewer people will die in Tianhe City? How many fewer people will die in the entire East District? You are all bad people and deserve to die. Today, I, Su Yu, will go on a killing spree. Su Yu raised his right hand, and the 7 killing sword appeared. The terrifying killing intent seemed to have condensed into substance. At this moment, Su Yu's murderous intention was stronger than ever. In the past 3 years, the treasure map has arrived, and how many dangers have been uncovered. As a result, the Lukyu clan occupied a grotto heaven and enjoyed the highest treatment, but did not bear the corresponding responsibilities. They all deserved to be killed. As if Su Yu was crazy, he slashed with his sword. The light of the sword reflected the sky and the earth, cutting a bloody path. Countless people died tragically. The power in Su Yu's body was consumed a lot and he was unable to deal with the War Emperor. But facing the King of War, he can still fight. Poof! The sword light cut them off, and the heads of several war kings disappeared. They couldn't figure it out until they died. They clearly had an absolute advantage, but they would still die. Su Yu, don't be stubborn anymore, let's capture him without mercy. You can't beat us, give up. Kneel down and beg for mercy now, you may still live. Some people from the Lukyu clan spoke one after another. They wanted to use this method to disturb Su Yu's heart and make Su Yu's spirit partition, so as to deliver a fatal blow and keep Su Yu here forever. Roll, kill 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 kill. Su Yu roared angrily, his sword flashed, and he killed several more war kings. However, Su Yu became even weaker. The power in the body is getting less and less, and if this continues, the enemy will definitely take advantage of it. At that time, death is certain. Boom! Suddenly, Lukyu Grotto Heaven shook violently. At the entrance, a figure broke in. Lukyu came back from the fight. The aura above the War Emperor swept through the sky. At this moment, Lukyu Sha seemed to have taken over from the sky. The pressure was overwhelming, as if the power of heaven had fallen, making all living beings tremble. Okay, very good. Kill the 3 war kings of my Lukyu clan. Su Yu, I underestimated you. As soon as Lukyu Sha came back, he immediately knew what happened here, and his face became extremely ugly. And you, Yuan Chengsheng, why do you want to get involved in this matter? Lukyu killer's eyes were filled with murderous intent, gushing out as if he wanted to turn this grotto heaven into a living hell. Boom! Lukyu Sha came across and wanted to kill Su Yu. Kill in Lukyu. Don't kill Su Yu. Bai Yuan raised his voice and said, I'm already on the way here, and Hao Tianlu is here too. Don't make a mistake. We'll talk about it when you can come over. Lukyu Shahan said indifferently and with murderous intent. Lukyu Sha, even if you kill Su Yu, you can't escape the punishment of the night watchman. When the time comes, you will die. Bai Yuan threatened. It is just a hair now and is not strong enough. It is very rare to be able to hold on until now. Can't escape the punishment of the night watch. You are too naive. It's not like I haven't escaped, but who knows? Lukyu Sha was like crazy. With a flick of his finger, a ray of light crossed the void and fell directly on the white ape. Boom! The white ape's figure exploded and turned into powder. At the same time, Bai Yuan and Hao Tianlu were on their way. At this moment, Bai Yuan's expression changed and he said to Hao Tianlu beside him, Trouble, my clone was killed by Lu Chu. Lu Chu killed, crazy. Su Yu, it's dangerous. This time, no matter what, Lukyu Sha must die. Hao Tianlu was filled with murderous intent. Such a person should not be kept. When he is dug out, he should be killed. The two of them moved faster and wanted to reach Grotto Heaven as soon as possible. Lukyu Grotto Heaven. Lukyu Sha looked down at Su Yu from a high position, the killing intent in his eyes undisguised. Su Yu, I really didn't expect that you would cause such a big turmoil. However, as long as I kill you and erase your existence, then I will still be a night watchman. As for you, no one will remember you. In the other 2 directions, Lu Chuan and another war emperor stood in the sky. On top of one war emperor, there are 2 war emperors. There are hundreds of war kings. There are countless warriors. With so many people, it is no exaggeration to say that Su Yu is dead today. Lukyu Sha, you are finally back. I have been waiting for you. Su Yu suddenly laughed. Somewhat crazy, some crazy. At this moment, Su Yu gave people the feeling of flipping the table and completely risking his life. It even makes people think that Su Yu is a madman who is not even afraid of death. Lu Chu Sha's heart sank, and suddenly he felt a little uneasy. Yao Ji, come out. At this time, Su Yu took out a mahjong tile. It was lent to him by the immortal Immortal. Immortal is definitely not simple. Mahjong tiles from Immortal, how could it be simple? Su Yu admitted that he was gambling, but today he and Lu Chu were going to fight, and one of them had to die. Boom! Yao Ji was suddenly shocked. The next moment, the Yao chicken disappeared and was replaced by a vermilion bird. Vermilion bird. A living mythical beast, vermilion bird. Even Lu Sha couldn't help but change his face in horror at this moment. This is an adult mythical beast, vermilion bird, with an aura as deep as the sea, very terrifying. You call this a Yao Ji? Su Yu was also stunned. Vermilion bird. He was actually treated as a Yao Ji by the immortal. Kill him. Su Yu came back to his senses, couldn't help being ecstatic, and spoke quickly. Vermilion bird was speechless, but the figure moved, rolled up endless flames, and dived towards Lu Sha. I'll deal with vermilion bird. You go kill Su Yu. Lu Sha's eyes were solemn as he attacked vermilion bird and started fighting one bird at a time. At the same time, Lu Chuan and another war emperor came towards Su Yu. Su Yu's expression changed. In order to be able to kill Lu Chu, he endured it again and again. But now, there are still two war emperors, how to deal with them? At this moment, a light suddenly lit up on Su Yu's body. The next moment, Xing Yishan's figure slowly walked out. She looked at the two war emperors and said to Su Yu, "My strength has not been restored yet, so I can only deal with one." Xing Yishan stepped out of the air. With every step she took, the aura on her body became more powerful. After 9 consecutive steps, the aura on her body reached the extreme level. Boom! Xing Yishan fought against another war emperor. However, there is another Lu Chu Yuan who is coming to kill. There is also a war emperor. Su Yu's eyes flashed, his figure flickered, and disappeared in an instant. However, Lu Chuan raised his eyes, quickly locked onto Su Yu's position, and came for him again. There were hundreds of war kings who also attacked Su Yu. At this time, Su Yu was about to teleport again, but suddenly, a feeling came into his heart. Extend your left hand. Treasure maps fell from the sky and fell into the palm of my hand. 30 photos in total. Su Yu was surprised, but after thinking about it for a moment, Su Yu understood. When he was outside Tianhe City, he dug up many monsters and finally killed them all. Now, the reward is here. 30 treasure maps. Ha! Suddenly, Su Yu exclaimed, the coordinates of these treasure maps are all in Lukyu Grotto Heaven. Is this related to my current location? Before this, all the treasure maps Su Yu had obtained were in Tianhe City. Either in the city center or outside the city. But no matter where it is Tianhe City's territory. But now, Su Yu saw that the coordinates of the newly obtained treasure map were all in Lukyu Grotto Heaven. There are 30 treasure maps, aren't they all in Lukyu Grotto Heaven? If so, that would be great. Su Yu looked happy and moved out again before Lu Chuan arrived. It should be right here. Su Yu took out the treasure map and looked at it carefully, and golden writing suddenly appeared. There are 10,000 zombies sealed here. If they are released, this place will most likely turn into a purgatory on Earth. Dig. Must dig. Seeing the prompt, Su Yu used the treasure map without any hesitation. If it were in Tianhe City, Su Yu would definitely refuse. But this is not Tianhe City. This is Lukyu Grotto Heaven, the territory of the Lukyu clan. This place has turned into a purgatory on Earth. What does it have to do with me, Su Yu? Su Yu, what are you doing? Lu Chu Yuan came over. When he saw a space emerging, his expression suddenly changed and he shouted sharply. The next moment, Su Yu's figure disappeared. In the space, zombies rushed out one after another. As soon as they came out, they immediately saw Lukyu Yuan and the endless Lukyu clan members in Lukyu Grotto Heaven. Like beasts that smelled the smell of blood, they pounced on him without fear of death. On the other side, Su Yu's figure appeared, holding a treasure map in his hand. In the past, the underworld was broken into countless fragments. One of the very small fragments fell here and formed a ghost monster, harboring 300,000 evil spirits. Once they are released, they will definitely turn this place into a new one. The ghost. Looking at the golden writing, Su Yu laughed and used the treasure map again without any hesitation. A space emerged. A bunch of evil spirits rushed out with endless ghost energy. Su Yu's figure had already moved away, so they didn't see Su Yu at the first time. What they saw were the endless Lukyu tribesmen in Lukyu Grotto Heaven. Lukyu Sha, are you surprised by my gift? Su Yu's voice echoed throughout Grotto Heaven. Chapter 91. Lu Qiusha, who was fighting Vermilion Bird, was so angry that his whole body was shaking when he saw this scene. Su Yu, I will definitely kill you. I will kill you until your body and mind are completely destroyed, and your soul is gone. Lu Qiu's eyes flashed fiercely, and his murderous aura soared into the sky. It's like you won't kill me if I don't do this. Su Yu sneered, and his voice echoed out, since we are all going to die anyway, why not do a big fight and get some backers? Lu Qiusha, believe it or not, I don't know whether I, Su Yu, will die today, but you, the more than 30,000 Lu Qiu clan members, will definitely die. Following the sound, Su Yu moved again, and there was another treasure map in his hand. There is a volcano here that has been dormant for 100,000 years. Once it is opened, it will definitely erupt, turning the grotto heaven into a piece of red earth. Looking at the golden writing, Su Yu laughed and used the treasure map directly. The space was opened, and a volcano descended directly. As soon as it descended, it seemed to be stimulated, and billowing magma spewed out, covering all directions. In Lu Qiu Grotto Heaven, the Lu Qiu clan has the largest number of people. The volcano erupts and covers all directions, and they are the first to suffer. This is not Tianhe City. Su Yu doesn't care about the life or death of these people. They are all bad people. It would be better if they all died. Boom! The volcano erupted and countless figures were hit. For a while, they could not die. However, there are zombies and evil spirits nearby, and they will take the opportunity to pounce on them and give them a fatal blow. Su Yu. When Lu Qiuan saw this scene, his eyes were about to burst, and he wished he could tear Su Yu into pieces. You enter. Suddenly, Lu Qiusha's voice sounded, use the blood-burning sacrifice to heaven technique, and kill Su Yu first. Lu Qiu killed the order. He is now restrained by Vermilion Bird and has no time to separate himself. The only way is to let Lu Qiuan use his secret technique. Otherwise, even if Lu Qiuan is the War Emperor, he will not be able to catch up with Su Yu for a while. Good. Lu Qiuan did not hesitate anymore and forcibly performed the burning blood sacrifice technique. This is a secret technique. Once it is used, one's blood essence can be sacrificed to heaven, thereby developing one's own potential and possessing power that is many times greater than usual. Lu Qiuan was also ruthless, as if he didn't care about life or death at all. It burned directly. The terrifying power spread out from Lu Qiuan's body, greatly increasing his strength. More importantly, at this moment, Lu Qiuan's speed increased several times. Previously, Lu Qiuan could not catch up with Su Yu. But now, a cold light flashed in his eyes, and he appeared in front of Su Yu in an instant. If the money falls to the ground, the life will be lost. Suddenly, Su Yu flicked his finger, and a copper coin flew out and landed on Lu Qiuan's head. Lu Qiuan changed color. He has seen this copper coin before. His divine incarnation was killed by Su Yu's copper coin. Suddenly, he stretched out his left hand and pressed it on his head, preventing the money from falling to the ground. He raised his right hand and was about to kill Su Yu when he saw that Su Yu's figure had gone away and appeared in another place. Su Yu had another treasure map in his hand. No, Lu Qiuan said subconsciously. But, it's too late. Su Yu laughed and used the treasure map. A space emerged. A humanoid creature walked out of it. It was about 10 meters tall, with muscles all over its body and full of explosive power. There are actually venomous snakes growing on the top of its head, which looks very eye-catching. Su Yu's figure has long gone away. The humanoid creature saw Lu Qiuan at first sight and narrowed his eyes slightly. It did not rush forward immediately, but instead lowered its big hand, grabbed the Lu Qiu tribesman on the ground and stuffed it into its mouth. Another cannibal. Su Yu. Lu Qiuan was furious. He wanted to hunt down Su Yu, but the humanoid creature that was dug out had terrifying strength and was a real war emperor. If no one stops it, then the entire Lu Qiu clan will be eaten soon. I'm here. Su Yu's figure appeared on the other side and laughed loudly. Lu Qiusha, what do you think now? Is it worth it to kill me for a 7 kills monument? Lu Qiu said nothing. Su Yu still has treasure maps in his hand, and many of them have never been used. Once used, I don't know how many dangers will come. Now, Lu Qiu Grotto Heaven is in chaos. There are many masters among the Lu Qiu clan. But the 3 war emperors have died, and one of the only two remaining war emperors is being restrained. There is another Lu Chu Yuan who is chasing Su Yu, but he is intentionally or unintentionally ready to attack the humanoid creature that was dug out. Don't worry about the humanoid creature, kill Su Yu first. Lu Chu Sha hesitated for a moment and immediately made his choice. If Su Yu is not killed now, it will be even more dangerous if Su Yu digs out another very terrifying existence. Want to kill me? Not qualified enough. Suddenly, Su Yu struck out with a knife. The light of the sword reflects the world. In an instant, countless heads rolled in. There are people from the Lukyu clan, zombies, and evil spirits. Lukyu Grotto Heaven is already in chaos, whether it's people, zombies, or evil spirits. One slash of the knife will kill a large piece of it. Lu Chuan didn't hesitate anymore and charged directly towards Su Yu. But at this time, Su Yu suddenly laughed. Although I don't know what the War Emperor is, today, I, Su Yu, will become the War Emperor. Along with laughter, Su Yu's figures teleported one after another. Every teleportation is accompanied by a flash of sword light. The sword shines in all directions, killing heads rolling in. War Emperor, I have become it. Suddenly, Su Yu stopped, and in the inner world, the divine text of the word, kill, vibrated, bright red like blood. The terrifying aura spread out from Su Yu's body and filled all directions. That is the aura of the War Emperor. Today, Su Yu joins the War Emperor. Buzz. The seven-killing sword trembled, even more excited than Su Yu. Su Yu struck out with another knife. The light of the sword reflects the entire grotto heaven. In an instant, heads were rolling and blood was scattered in the sky. Looking around, this sword killed at least 500 to 600 people. Suddenly, Lu Chu Yuan came to kill. Boom! The terrifying power swept out, as if it was about to drown Su Yu. Su Yu narrowed his eyes. Today I, Su Yu, become the War Emperor. I should kill a War Emperor to celebrate for me. Kill, 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 kill. Su Yu killed Lu Chuan. Knife after knife, Su Yu gave up all defenses. Only attack. Just move forward courageously. Even if I am seriously injured today, even if I may die today, I will kill you. This is my belief. At this moment, Su Yu's belief was completely inconsistent with his age. Even Su Yu didn't understand why he had such a belief. However, this is not important, as long as Lu Chuan can be killed. Boom! Cut it down with the light of the sword. Lu Chuan's figure suddenly stopped, his eyes widened, seemingly in disbelief. You. Who are you? Lu Chuan asked with difficulty. Now, it is difficult for him to speak. Boom! Before he could wait for the answer, Lu Chuan's figure split into two and fell directly down. The War Emperor, Lu Chu Yuan, died. At this moment, the chaotic grotto heaven suddenly became silent. Everyone, all the zombies, all the evil ghosts, all turned their heads to look at Su Yu. At this moment, the world is silent. All the beings looked at Su Yu in shock. Even if they are ordinary zombies, they have lost their minds, but they still have some instincts. They all looked at Su Yu. Lu Chuan was a true war emperor, and he also used the blood-burning heaven sacrifice technique, which increased his strength several times. It can be said that how could such a terrifying war emperor die so easily? However, Lu Chuan still died. He was killed by a new warrior emperor. Incredible. When Lu Chu Sha saw this scene, he was so angry that his whole body was shaking. Su Yu. Lu Chu Sha gritted his teeth. Suddenly, Lu Chu Sha's eyes turned blood red, and terrifying murderous intent filled the air. Boom, boom, boom. The mythical beast Vermilion Bird was defeated steadily by Lu Chu Sha. It's strong. Endless years ago, there were hundreds of thousands of Luchoja, and in its eyes, they were all like ants. But now, its strength is no stronger than Lu Chu Sha, and is even weaker. The reason why I can persist until now is all because of my own blood. However, Lu Chu Sha started to go all out, really went all out. It's a bit unstoppable. Senior Vermilion Bird, hold on, let me take a breath and come back to kill with you. Su Yu raised his voice and spoke. Yes, Su Yu is breathing now. When I killed Lu Chu Yuan, I felt really good, but it consumed a lot of money. Therefore, he is very tired now and is panting, so he can quickly regain some strength in his body. Lu Chu Yuan is not worth mentioning. Speaking of potion, he is just a war emperor. However, Lu Qiusha is a being above the war emperor. This is the most terrifying opponent. Senior Vermilion Bird, if you keep persisting, when I kill another war emperor, I will come and kill him with you again. Su Yu got a breather and the strength in his body recovered. Xing Yishan, contain him and let me kill him. Su Yu suddenly spoke. Boom! A flash of sword light reflects the heaven and earth. At this moment, Xing Yishan took action with all his strength, not seeking to kill the enemy, but only seeking to contain him so that he could not deal with Su Yu. Poof! The only remaining war king of the Lukyu clan had his left arm cut off at the shoulder by Su Yu. Die! Su Yu took the opportunity to kill. In his eyes, there is no war emperor, it is clearly just a mountain. Poof! Su Yu slashed with one knife. Combat skills, open mountains. With this knife, even a mountain will be split open. What's more, just one person. Another war emperor dies. Today, Su Yu killed 5 war emperors in a row. In the inner world, the divine text with the word, kill, vibrates, and it is obvious that it has grown stronger. Xing Yishan, go help Senior Vermilion Bird. Su Yu said. Xing Yishan nodded, holding the fairy sword, and headed towards Lukyu to kill. Senior Vermilion Bird, just wait a moment until I kill these fools from the Lukyu clan, and then I will fight alongside you. Along with the sound, the sword light flashed in all directions. Lukyu Grotto Heaven was already in chaos. The members of the Lukyu clan were all running for their lives. They were actually very strong, but they were no match for the zombies, evil ghosts, and humanoid creatures that Su Yu dug up. Therefore, the only option is to escape. But now, the light of the sword is falling, and not even the King of War can resist it. For a while, miserable howls sounded one after another, but soon, the miserable howls stopped abruptly. Death piece by piece. No one can stop Su Yu. Su Yu, do you know what you are doing? Lu Qiusha's eyes were not only blood red, but his whole body seemed to be turning red as well. It seemed that the blood and essence in his body was burning and wanted to come out. My Lukyu clan is also a human clan. If you kill my clansmen, then you are a traitor to the human clan. You are the sinner of the human race. Go away. Su Yu drew his knife and slashed at Lu Qiusha, cursing, you are the traitor of the human race and the sinner of the human race. There is no good person in your Lukyu clan. It would not be a pity to kill them all. Hundreds of war kings are all staying in Grotto Heaven. They are either bad or evil. Today, I, Su Yu, want to kill them all. What can you do to me? Su Yu was filled with murderous intent. Sword light mapping. Heads are rolling. Blood flowed like a river. The more people kill, the more powerful the kill inscriptions in Su Yu's inner world vibrate, become redder like blood, and become more powerful. Taking advantage of now, Su Yu is still improving his strength. Kill the War Emperor, Yi. It's difficult to kill someone above the War Emperor. Boom, boom, boom. Su Yu looked like he was crazy and killed so much that the ground turned bloody. Kill the zombies until they flee, the evil ghosts that hold their heads and run away, and the other humanoid creatures at the sovereign level that quickly retreat. In fact, even the volcano seemed to be aware of it and did not dare to erupt again. Let's all die. The light of the sword reflected, and suddenly, the humanoid creature that had just escaped to the entrance of Grotto Heaven trembled all over and fell to the ground. Another stab, and the zombies fell down in pieces. Strong human being, spare your life. We were also human beings when we were alive. For the sake of our being human beings, please spare our lives. We are willing to surrender to you and will never betray you. Among the zombies, a zombie king begged for mercy. Even though they have died once, they are still afraid of death. Kill my human race and all of them will die. Su Yu's eyes were full of murderous intent, the sword fell, and all the remaining zombies fell into a pool of stinky blood. When the evil spirits saw this scene, they retreated back into the ghost world without any hesitation. In the past, the hidden underworld was broken into countless pieces. One of the very small pieces formed a ghost monster, which gave birth to 300,000 evil spirits. Now, they all retreated. There, they might still be alive. But here, they must die. If you die this time, your soul will be scattered. The ghost world is very special. It is the world of the dead. Only the dead can enter, and the living should stay away. Once a living person enters and does not have enough cultivation, he will definitely die. The evil spirits return to the ghost world. When they arrive among the ghosts, their figures are no longer ghosts, but look like strangers. Very strange. Su Yu looked down, and after a quiet glance, he said with murderous intent, "Don't come out again. If you come out again, I will enter the ghost world and kill you all." Among the ghosts, the evil spirits were so frightened that they retreated again. They felt that Su Yu was the real evil ghost, too cruel. "Luke, you kill, all of your more than 30,000 clan members have been killed. Now, let me ask you again, is it worth it for you to kill me for a 7 kills monument?" Su Yu raised his voice and spoke. "Is it worth it?" Lu Chu-sha asked himself while taking action. Suddenly, he smiled. Yes, he smiled. It seems that there is some happiness, some relief, and some relief. Of course it's worth it. Lu Chu-sha smiled and said, "Not to mention it's for the 7 kills monument, but more than 30,000 of my clan members died, so why not 300,000, 3 million, or 30 million? To me, they are a burden to me. I wanted to kill them countless years ago. However, I am a person who loves love and never has the heart to do anything, so I have been dragged down by them until now. Su Yu, really, I want to thank you. Thank you for helping me become enlightened. Only if they die can my way be fulfilled. Only when they die can I break off the karma with them." "Su Yu, how do you want to die now?" Boom. A powerful aura suddenly spread out. This aura was more powerful than at any time since the arrival of Luke Yu Kill. Boom. With just one blow, Xing Yishan was knocked backwards. Poof. Xing Yishan vomited blood, his figure fell in the distance, and he didn't know whether he was alive or dead. Boom. Another blow. Vermilion Bird was beaten until he turned into a mahjong chicken again and fell far away, with no idea of his life or death. At this moment, Lu Chu-sha seemed to have changed into a different person, terrifyingly powerful. "Here comes the sword." Lu Chu-sha raised his hand and pointed at Su Yu. In an instant, the moon suspended in the grotto heaven of Lu Yu shook violently, and then turned into a giant sword to suppress the void. Su Yu's expression suddenly changed. At this moment, he couldn't move. Even the teleportation wristband Li Xiao gave him had lost its effect. "Here comes the knife." Lu Chu-sha stretched out his hand, and the sun in Lu Yu grotto heaven shook and turned into a peerless magic sword. "Su Yu, Hao Tianlu will be here in 3 minutes. But he can't come. Now, I will cut off all your karma and erase your existence. Hao Tianlu doesn't remember you, so of course he won't come. At that time, no one will know that I killed you, and no one will know that the 7 kills monument fell into my hands. At that time, I will still be the night watchman. And Su Yu, no one in the world will remember you." Boom. Lu Yu kills with one strike. This sword is extremely powerful. Lu Chu-sha was originally a being above the War Emperor, and he had always been hiding his strength. Now, Lu Chu-sha is no longer hidden, and the power that explodes will be extremely shocking even if Hao Tianlu comes. Boom. Suddenly, half a lotus root appeared in front of Su Yu. "Those are the shoes of Kishan Great Saint. Even if there is only half of it, it is still filled with Dao rhyme." The fragments of the Rui golden cudgel also flew out. These are all things of the great saint of Kishan, upon which Dao rhyme is inspired. An illusory figure descended, wearing golden armor with chains, walking on lotus root silk, and wearing a purple gold crown with phoenix wings on his head. The Rui golden cudgel hit Lu Chu-sha hard. Boom. Lu Chu-sha's pupils shrank slightly, changed his direction, and struck at the Rui golden cudgel with his sword. Su Yu's blow was very terrifying. Before he became the War Emperor, he killed 3 powerful War Emperors with one blow. It stands to reason that Su Yu has now become the War Emperor and is stronger, so the attack he unleashes will naturally be more powerful. But, this time, something went wrong. Lu Chu-sha was so powerful that he slashed the Rui golden cudgel and flew backwards. The phantom of the great saint shook the sky and almost collapsed. At this moment, the giant sword vibrated, and the light on it was bright, obliterating the shadow of the great saint Kishan. The great saint of Kishan is very powerful, but what is here is just a little bit of Dao rhyme left on the fragments of the Rui golden cudgel and half of the lotus root silk stepping clouds. And after countless years, there are not many of these Dao rhyme. Even if you possess the supreme weapon, you are too weak to exert its power. But when you die, they will all be mine. I'm stronger than you, and I can unleash their power better than you. Only I am qualified to occupy them, you are not worthy. Lu Qiu was full of murderous intent and had a sure chance of victory, so he didn't take Su Yu seriously at all. When Su Yu heard this, his heart sank. When he heard that Lu Qiu might secretly deal with him for the 7 kills monument, he didn't panic at all. For this reason, he made a lot of preparations, thinking about killing Lu Qiu. But now, these preparations are like a joke. In the eyes of a truly strong person, he is really a bit funny. Want to kill me? You can't do it yet. Faced with Lu Qiu's knife, Su Yu raised his voice and said, "Here comes someone. Wait," with a tiger-headed guillotine. Boom! The entire grotto heaven suddenly shook violently. The tiger-headed guillotine flew out of Su Yu's body. 4 illusory figures condensed out, one was holding a guillotine, and the other was holding a basin in front of the guillotine. 2 others went straight to Lu Qiu to kill them. The tiger head guillotine was dug out by you. Lu Qiu's expression changed. The tiger head guillotine was dug out. He knows this. However, who would have thought that it was dug out by Su Yu? That was too much of a coincidence to believe. Boom! Lu Qiu drew his sword. The sword contains great terror. The 2 phantoms were defeated and retreated, unable to get close at all. The tiger-headed guillotine is no longer the tiger-headed guillotine it used to be. It doesn't know what it has gone through, and it is already mutilated. The person in charge of the tiger-headed guillotine is no longer the eternal Qingtian, and the power that can be exerted is naturally greatly reduced. It's difficult to kill Lu Qiu. Disaster. Disaster. It's as difficult as climbing to the sky. Suddenly, Lu Qiu looked at the entrance of Grotto Heaven, a look of worry flashed in his eyes. Hao Tianlu didn't want his life, so he burned his blood and essence to rush here. For Su Yu, what's the matter? I, Lu Qiu, am not 100,000 times stronger than Su Yu. Lu Qiu couldn't understand. He looked at Su Yu and said coldly, "Now, I'll kill your cause and effect first, and then I'll slowly process you." Now, he can kill Su Yu with one knife. However, after killing Su Yu, there is no time to cut off Su Yu's cause and effect. When the time comes, once Hao Tianlu arrives and sees Su Yu dead, he will definitely take action against him. Only by cutting off Su Yu's cause and effect will Hao Tianlu retreat. At that time, no one would care about Su Yu. Because no one knows that there is another Su Yu in the world. Cut. In Lu Qiu's eyes, threads appeared on Su Yu's body. This kind of silk thread is called the cause and effect thread. Suddenly, Lu Qiu slashed towards a line of cause and effect. Hao Tianlu, who was rushing back and forth with burning essence and blood, suddenly roared, "Lu Qiu, how dare you!" Poof! Hao Tianlu spurted out a mouthful of blood. The next moment, he stopped and looked up in confusion. "Why am I here?" Yes, he was confused because he didn't remember Su Yu. Therefore, he doesn't know why he appears here. Tianhe City, aren't you asking for help? What am I doing here? I have to go support Tianhe City. Hao Tianlu didn't have time to think about why he was here, but immediately turned around and ran towards Tianhe City. Yuan Chengsheng, why are you here? Soon, Hao Tianlu saw the white ape. Why did you run back? Have you rescued Su Yu? Bai Yuan asked anxiously. Who is Su Yu? Hao Tianlu frowned. Su Yu is. Suddenly, the white ape's body shook violently, and blood spurted out of its mouth. Then, it asked in confusion, "Yes, who is Su Yu? By the way, Tianhe City is asking for help. Let's go quickly to support Tianhe City." Bai Yuan said. It doesn't remember either. Lu Qiu Grotto Heaven. Lu Qiu laughed wildly. Su Yu, I have cut off the karma between you and Hao Tianlu and Yuan Chengsheng. They don't remember who you are. They retreat. I didn't expect that you know quite a lot of people. However, don't worry, take your time, I will cut off all your karma first, and then I will let no one in the world remember you except me. You killed more than 30,000 of my tribe members who loved each other. I don't want you to die casually. That would be too easy for you. Lu Qiu killed them one after another. Outside Tianhe City. Li Xiao was shocked and his face turned pale. Su Yu. Who is Su Yu? Where is my teleportation wristband? Su Yu, that's my half-brother, but why, I seem to be forgetting him. Lei Gang was fighting a war emperor, and suddenly his mind was shaken. But soon, he patted his bald head and said, "Mad, I'm fighting, why are I still distracted?" Zhang Tian didn't remember either. Su Yu, what on earth could erase you from my memory bit by bit? Lin Zi cried. She rarely values a person and rarely has a good impression of a person. She didn't want to forget Su Yu. Don't want to. But she can't stop it. Soon, Lin Zi's eyes became confused. I seem to have forgotten something. City First People's Hospital, Ward 666. Fatty had been awakened long ago. Suddenly, the fat man was stunned for a moment and frowned. He seemed to have forgotten something, but he just couldn't remember it. Tianhe City, where the entrance to Grotto Heaven is located, is where Captain Zheng is guarding. Suddenly, he frowned, but soon his brows relaxed again. Outside Tianhe City, General Bai was fighting bloody battles, but suddenly, he raised his head and said angrily, "How brave, who dares to cut off my cause and effect? No matter who you are, when I think of you, I will kill all 9 of your tribes." At this moment, General Bai was furious. There are still people in this world who dare to cut off his cause and effect. Su Yu, Su Yu, Su Yu, General Bai kept repeating, but soon he said in a daze, "Su Yu, who is it? Why do I keep chanting this name? Could it be that someone cut off my karma?" General Bai frowned. In Lukyu Grotto Heaven, Lukyu kills one blow after another. Fewer and fewer people remember Su Yu. Su Yu could feel that he seemed to be being forgotten. Su Yu, there are really many people who know you, but they won't remember you anymore. Lu Chu killed dozens of knives with a smile. 3 of the swords struck the Grotto Heaven downstairs of Su Yu's family building in Tianhe City. "A mere ant, you want to cut off my cause and effect." Immortal raised his head with disdain in his eyes. "Get out." The immortal demon spat out one word lightly. "If I remember someone, let alone you, even if Guanyin comes, I can't kill him." The immortal demon snorted. In an instant, the 3 swords collapsed. In Lukyu Grotto Heaven, Lukyu Shaw's body was shaken, and his body was in turmoil. His complexion suddenly became extremely pale, and blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. Who are these 3 people? Just one sentence caused him to be seriously injured. Lu Chu Sha could feel that if any one of these 3 wanted to kill him, just one sentence would be enough. In the endless wilderness, the big black dog is running wild. Suddenly, he cut with a knife. This knife was not to kill the big black dog, but to cut off the cause and effect between Su Yu and the big black dog. Suddenly, the big black dog seemed to sense something and looked up. Woof! A dog barked, shocking the earth, and the sword that Lu Chu Sha slashed suddenly collapsed. The next moment, the figure of the big black dog appeared in Lukyu Grotto Heaven. Somewhat unreal. "Are you worthy of killing the person I remember? I remember you. Wait for me to kill you." It looked at Su Yu and said, "Su Yu, hold on. Wait for me to save you." The shadow disappears. In the wilderness, the big black dog is faster. It's going to save Su Yu. Must be rescued. It's still waiting to hit Su Yu's sap again. In the Magic City, the old Taoist is killing everyone. Suddenly, the old man's figure froze, 3 ugly heads raised, and young, middle-aged, and old voices sneered together. "You can erase Lao Dao's memory." Lao Dao sneered, and strange power suddenly filled the air. At the same time, in Lukyu Grotto Heaven, Lukyu Sha looked horrified and vomited blood from his mouth. The next moment, his 2 shoulders suddenly split open, and a head grew out of each. The head is so ugly that just looking at it makes me want to vomit. "Baby, I'm here to save you." The 2 ugly heads opened their mouths, showing their yellow teeth, and bit into Lu Chu Sha's head. Lu Chu Sha panicked immediately and took action quickly. Boom, 1 sword at a time, and he cut it down quickly. 2 ugly heads suddenly grew out, and immediately people started to lose their heads. Lu Chu Sha was relieved. But at this moment, Lu Chu Sha suddenly shrank his eyes. Because of the failure to kill the cause and effect several times, and because of the sudden arrival of the old master, Su Yu was given a chance. Su Yu took out a pair of flowery underwear and put it directly around his neck. "This is a treasure dug out by Su Yu. Wearing it on your body will increase your cultivation level by 50%. Put it around your neck and increase your cultivation level by 70%. Today, I, Su Yu, will kill you even if I don't have the cultivation of the War Emperor. Su Yu became furious. What is the War King? As long as he can kill Lu Chusha, it doesn't matter whether he is a warrior emperor or not. In the inner heaven and earth, the divine text with the word, kill, is as red as blood, shaking endlessly. Suddenly, the light of the divine text with the word, kill, suddenly became extremely dim. But an extremely terrifying force surged out instantly. Suddenly, the figure of the great saint emerged. The Rui golden cudgel emits a brilliant golden light and is smashed on the head. Boom! Lu Chu killed Su Yu and suffered a series of backlashes, leaving him seriously injured. Now, Lu Chusha is very weak. This stick hit, although Lu Chusha blocked it, his body was shaken and trembling continuously. Poof, poof, poof. Lu Chusha's complexion suddenly turned pale, and he spat out blood as if it was for free. He's not dead. Su Yu was a little surprised. But Su Yu noticed that Lu Chusha's body was full of cracks, as if he was about to collapse and explode into blood mist. I don't believe it, you're not dead yet. A look of madness flashed in Su Yu's eyes, and the already extremely dim divine text with the word, kill, in the inner world shook again, and terrifying power swept out crazily. Here comes someone. Wait, with a tiger's head and a guillotine. Su Yu raised his voice like a bell. Boom! The tiger head guillotine bloomed with supreme light. Two figures went straight to Lu Qiu to kill. Get out of here. Lu Chusha counterattacked, but it doesn't make any sense. Two figures forcibly suppressed Lu Chusha and dragged him under the guillotine. Open. Guillotine. The sound is like a bell. Really impressive. Following Su Yu's voice, the tiger-headed guillotine suddenly fell. Lu Qiu kill. Heads are falling. Die with your eyes open. Beyond the War Emperor, nothing more than that. Su Yu stood with a knife in his hand and gasped for air. At the same time, Hao Tianlu and Bai Yuan, who were rushing to Tianhe City, were shocked. Su Yu. Memories came out like a tide, and Hao Tianlu remembered them all. Lu Chusha, you really deserve to die. Not only do you want to kill Su Yu, but you also want to erase my memory of Su Yu. Hao Tianlu quickly turned around, the essence and blood in his body burned crazily, and immediately rushed to Lu Qiu Grotto Heaven. Kill at Lu Qiu. You really deserve to be killed. Bai Yuan also thought about it. Outside Tianhe City, I remembered, I lent my teleportation wristband to Su Yu. Li Xiao was fighting, and suddenly, he remembered, Su Yu. I don't know how Su Yu is doing now. I hope he is okay. My half-brother, I still remember you. Lei Gang was lost and found, and his heart was very complicated. Just now, he actually forgot about Su Yu and did not remember that there was such a person as Su Yu. Su Yu. Zhang Tian also remembered. Su Yu, I finally remembered you again. Lin Zi's eyes were moist. I remembered Su Yu. So, someone failed to kill Su Yu. General Bai raised his head. Lu Qiu Grotto Heaven. Su Yu was very weak. Among the ghosts, 300,000 evil spirits are ready to move. They could see that Su Yu was very weak now. If they rushed out, they would probably capture Su Yu. You can come out and give it a try. Su Yu pointed his sword at the ghost and said coldly, whenever an evil ghost walks out of the ghost, I will kill you all to pieces. 300,000 evil ghosts all retreated, not daring to take another step. Su Yu then took the knife, walked towards the distance, and picked up the Mahjong Yaoji. Senior Vermilion Bird, are you still alive? Su Yu asked. On the Yaoji, the light flickered, as if in response. It's good to be alive, it's good to be alive. Thank you, Senior Vermilion Bird. Su Yu said happily. Then, Su Yu continued to walk forward, and soon came to the Saint Xing Yishan. Xing Yishan, are you okay? Su Yu squatted down and asked softly. Cough, cough. I'm fine. Xing Yishan was very weak. She looked up at the entrance of Grotto Heaven and seemed to sense something. She said, someone is coming. I'll hide for a while. She doesn't really want others to know her. The next moment, her figure turned into a ray of light, fell on Su Yu, and disappeared. Lu Qiu kill. If you dare to kill Su Yu, I will slaughter more than 30,000 people from your Lu Qiu clan today. Boom. Hao Tianlu came to Lukyu Grotto Heaven with anger. But when he saw the rivers of blood and mountains of corpses in Lukyu Grotto Heaven, Hao Tianlu was stunned. Lukyu kill. You are looking for death. Do you think I can't kill you? White Ape roared and rushed in. But suddenly, its expression was startled and it said blankly, what happened here? Whether it was Hao Tianlu or Bai Yuan, they all felt dazzled at this moment. Lukyu Grotto Heaven has more than 30,000 people, 3 war emperors in one sect, and one above the war emperor. Now, they are all dead. Blood flowed like a river. The bodies are piling up. Only Su Yu stood in the distance, facing the wind. Suddenly, their eyes froze. Not 3 war emperors, but 5. There are hundreds of war kings. The Lukyu clan deserves to be killed, Hao Tianlu said in a deep voice. Even he, the person in charge of East District 1, didn't know that the strength of the Lukyu clan was so terrifying. Lukyu Sha has concealed so much combat power, which is either bad or bad. Su Yu, how do you feel? Hao Tianlu raised his eyes and landed on Su Yu. The next moment, Hao Tianlu appeared in front of Su Yu. I'm okay, it's not a big deal. Su Yu smiled bitterly. Today, Su Yu joins the war emperor and kills everyone. But in order to kill Lukyu Sha, Su Yu fell from the battle emperor realm. Later, he used the tiger's head guillotine again, and the level of the divine word, kill, fell again. Now, he is the king of war rank 1. This time, the loss is too great. Bai Yuan squatted down and checked Su Yu's body, then stood up and said to Hao Tianlu, Su Yu's injury is very serious but his life is not worried. It will be difficult to do anything again in a short time. Hao Tianlu breathed a sigh of relief and said, Yuan Chengsheng, please send Su Yu back to Tianhe City first. Then what's going on here? Bai Yuan glanced at Su Yu with some worry. Needless to say, Lukyu Sha was definitely at fault in this matter. However, Su Yu killed more than 30,000 people and still broke the news. Once the news spreads, it will definitely shock the whole country. What's more important is that in the past 3 years, the Lukyu clan is not the only ancient people who have been dug out. Therefore, no matter whether it is right or wrong, everyone must be given an explanation for this matter. Hao Tianlu rubbed his temples with a headache and cursed, I don't know how to deal with the things here. More than 30,000 people will be killed at will. Su Yu, how do you want me to explain to the superiors? If Su Yu killed 3 to 5 people, or even 30 to 50 people, he would not need to report it. However, with more than 30,000 people, just thinking about it gives me a headache. However, I can't blame you for this. It's all Lucho's fault. Hao Tianlu sighed, waved his hands, and said, Yuan Chengsheng, take Su Yu back to Tianhe City first, and I will figure out how to deal with the aftermath here. Good. Bai Yuan squatted down and carried Su Yu on his back, nodded to Hao Tianlu, and quickly left Grotto Heaven and headed towards Tianhe City. After everyone left, Hao Tianlu kicked Lukyu Sha's head away and cursed, how should I deal with the aftermath? How about I quit my job? Who wants to be responsible in East District 1? Or, should I go find Mr. Zhang to intercede? But Mr. Zhang and I don't have such a deep friendship. The big black dog is still running. Woof. Suddenly, it stopped and barked in the distance. Bai Yuan came quickly with Su Yu on his back. What are you calling me for? Bai Yuan looked at the big black dog and asked. The big black dog stood up and glanced at Su Yu. It felt relieved and continued to move forward without opening a word, past the white ape. Inexplicable. Bai Yuan shook his head, carried Su Yu on his back, and continued to rush to Tianhe City. Lukyu Grotto Heaven. Hao Tianlu was still worried. Suddenly, the big black dog walked over, looking at the mountain of corpses and the sea of blood, and uttered words, this Su Yu is really cruel. He actually killed them all. No wonder the 7 kills monument chose Su Yu. Hao Tianlu, how are you going to handle this matter? The big black dog seemed to be very familiar with Hao Tianlu, and even called Hao Tianlu by his first name. How would I know? Hao Tianlu smiled bitterly, looked at the big black dog with some hope, and said, Screaming dog, you are wild, how about you give me a trick? After thinking about it for a long time, my head was spinning, but I still couldn't think of a way. Hao Tianlu was now helpless and could only place his hope on Roaring Sky Dog. What can I do? The big black dog shook his head, I just came here to take a look, yes, just to take a look. The big black dog started wandering around the grotto heaven. While wandering around, he said, "This Suyu is really not simple. He has only been a night watchman for a few days and he slaughtered a grotto heaven. How does this look like it was done by someone from the Seven Kills lineage? Hey, is there still a ghost here?" The big black dog suddenly stopped and stuck its head into the ghost creature. It was obviously a dog head of flesh and blood, but once it entered the ghost creature, it turned into a skeleton dog head. 300,000 evil spirits rushed over immediately, but in the next moment, the big black dog opened its bloody mouth and bit it down in one bite. Countless evil spirits died tragically. The big black dog's head retracted, he chewed twice casually, opened his mouth and spit it out, cursing, "What does this taste like? It's not delicious at all." When the remaining evil spirits saw this scene, they were trembling with fear. It's over, here comes a dog, more ferocious than Suyu, and actually eats ghosts. After wandering around Lukyu Grotto Heaven for a long time, the big black dog peed on the volcano dug out by Suyu. Then he came to Hao Tianlu and uttered human words. "Smile, don't pull a face. I dug you out, you should inherit my advantages." The big black dog grinned, with 2 rows of white teeth gleaming. Hao Tianlu then showed 2 rows of teeth, but they didn't shine at all. "Isn't that great?" the big black dog said with a smile. "As for this matter, it's actually not that complicated to deal with. I'll go there myself, talk to some old friends, it shouldn't be a big problem. As for you," the big black dog thought for a moment and said, "To cut weeds, we must remove the roots, otherwise they will grow again when the spring breeze blows. There are many people from the Lukyu clan who are performing tasks outside. Kill them all, leave no one behind. There are also Lukyu kill, as well as 3, 4, 5, yes, the divine incarnations of the 5 war emperors, all killed too. Although the incarnations of the gods won't last long, we still have to kill them to prevent them from causing trouble before they disappear. I'm leaving." The big black dog swaggered away. "Do you really think it's just a dog? It really does work and is more useful than anyone else." After leaving Lukyu Grotto Heaven, the big black dog did not return to Tianhe City, but headed in another direction. Tianhe City. Bai Yuan was carrying Su Yu on his back and was rushing to the Night Watch branch. There are many experts gathered there. Su Yu is much safer there. "Senior Bai Yuan, let me ask you a question," Su Yu said weakly. "Just ask. If the War Emperor dies, what will happen to their divine incarnations outside?" Su Yu asked. "He will die too," White Ape answered directly without thinking, "but he won't die immediately, but he can survive for a while." Su Yu's heart sank and he said, "Can you trouble Senior Bai Yuan to send me to the Night Watchman's family building? You want to go home?" Bai Yuan frowned and said, "It's too dangerous at home, so the Night Watch branch is safer. No, I dug out a grotto heaven downstairs and asked Senior Bai Yuan to send me there." Su Yu said quickly. "Well, I understand." Bai Yuan suddenly understood and immediately changed direction. At the same time, outside Tianhe City, 6 vague figures appeared quietly, and the killing intent on them seemed to have condensed into substance. The Lukyu clan has 5 war emperors and 1 existence above the war emperor. They are all dead. However, they still have their divine avatars walking around outside. However, as the main body dies, their divine incarnations will not live long and will die along with the main body. Now, their divine incarnations are coming with only one purpose. That is to kill Su Yu for revenge. They are dead. But even if they die, they can avenge themselves. Don't make too much noise, kill Su Yu first, Lu Chusha said. He is actually dead, and now he is just a divine incarnation. After we kill Su Yu, we will bury the entire Tianhe city with him. Lukyu said with murderous intent, why can they still be alive if we die? By then, they will all die. Yes, they all have to be buried with us. The other 5 figures were also filled with murderous intent. They survived many catastrophes and managed to survive until now, but in the end, they all fell on Su Yu. Su Yu must die. By now, this has become their obsession. The speed must be fast. Lukyu Shaw's divine incarnation said, once Su Yu is found, even if he self-destructs, he must be killed. Soon, 6 figures sneaked into Tianhe City and began to look for Su Yu. 3 3 immortal seniors. Su Yu shouted loudly as soon as he entered Grotto Heaven, I'm back alive. Su Yu struggled to get off Bai Yuan's body, limped to the mahjong table, and sat down directly. Senior Cheng Shengxian, your Yaoji was almost beaten to death by Lu Chu, look at it. Su Yu took out the Yaoji and handed it to Cheng Shengxian. It's okay, it won't die. Immortal Hun didn't care. It's good that I can't die, I'm almost worried to death. Su Yu said with a smile, 3 immortal seniors, why don't we come and play mahjong? Before the 3 immortal beings could speak, Su Yu turned to look at Bai Yuan and said with a smile, Senior Bai Yuan, can you please run over and buy some breakfast? Now, it's dawn and Su Yu is hungry. Bai Yuan looked at Su Yu, then at the 3 immortal beings, and nodded lightly. Senior Bai Yuan, remember to buy 6 breakfasts. Su Yu said. I know. Bai Yuan went out to buy breakfast. Su Yu played mahjong with 3 immortals. After a while, the white ape came back, carrying 6 breakfasts. Thank you, Senior Bai Yuan. Su Yu took the initiative to divide the breakfast, 1 for each person. 1 more serving. Xing Yishan, you can come out now. Su Yu shouted. Xing Yishan's figure emerged. This breakfast is yours. Su Yu said softly, you go home and wait for me. I'll be back when I'm done. Okay. Xing Yishan nodded and left with breakfast. Bai Yuan looked at Xing Yishan's back, thoughtfully. It didn't even feel that there was someone hiding in Su Yu's body. This woman is not simple. Su Yu, then you play mahjong here first, and I'll go to the branch to check it out. Bai Yuan said, turned around and left with breakfast in hand. It's safe here. The 3 people exist forever and appear to be inconspicuous. However, Bai Yuan's instinct told him not to provoke them, they were absolutely terrifyingly powerful. Even in Hao Tianlu, it had never felt this way. It seemed that Su Yu had a good relationship with them, so there was no need for him to stay here. Su Yu is the safest here. As long as the 3 immortals exist, no one in the world can kill Su Yu. No wonder Su Yu made it a point to come here as soon as he arrived in Tianhe City. After the white ape left, Su Yu beat for a while and suddenly felt something in his heart. Extend your left hand. 20 treasure maps appeared out of thin air. Su Yu frowned slightly, why were there only 20 treasure maps this time? In Lukyu Grotto Heaven, he killed many zombies, many evil ghosts, and another humanoid creature that competed with sovereign level. In the end, only 20 pictures. Forget it, 20 of them are pretty good. Su Yu picked up the 20 treasure maps and looked at them one by one. The guess is correct. Of these treasure maps, 10 are in the Grotto Heaven, and there are 10 more in the center of Tianhe City, in the suburbs, and in the wilderness, but administratively, they are still under the jurisdiction of Tianhe City. At this time, Su Yu raised his head, looked at the 3 immortals, and asked, 3 immortals, did you just see how this treasure map appeared? The 3 immortal beings heard this and shook their heads. Our cultivation is too poor, how can we see this? Immortal sighed. We are no longer who we were back then, and who we are now are only about half as good as the war emperor you call us. Yes, we used to be quite powerful, but now, well, let's not mention it. The immortal demon also sighed. Little Su Yu, it's okay to play mahjong, but don't ask us to fight. The immortal demon vaccinated Su Yu in advance. 3 immortal seniors, don't worry, Su Yu, am not such a person. Su Yu shook his head, touched a card, and laughed, haha, I'm crazy. Su Yu accompanied the 3 longevity beings and played mahjong for a full hour. During this period, Li Xiao, Lin Zi, Lei Gang, and Zhang Tian all came here. Seeing that Su Yu was okay, they left immediately. They were very busy and had a lot of things to do, so they didn't have time to spend all their time here with Su Yu. Su Yu couldn't help but feel a little moved in his heart. Although we have only known each other for a few days, these people are still very nice. After a while, Su Yu suddenly felt something and turned his head to look at the entrance of Grotto Heaven. A total of 6 figures broke in quietly. Not good. We've been discovered. At any cost, kill Su Yu first. Then let Tianhe City be buried with him. Lukyu Kill should be killed first. Even if this is just a divine incarnation, even if it has become a bit illusory now, it is still very powerful. The power of the War King realm is crushing down, making people feel like they can't breathe. If Su Yu is still the War Emperor now, he will naturally not be afraid. Just chop it with a knife. Even if you can't chop it, you can still use the tiger's head guillotine. But now, Su Yu's cultivation level has dropped and he really can't beat him. Disappointment. Su Yu slapped the mahjong table and said, "I'm playing mahjong with 3 immortal seniors. What are you doing here?" As he spoke, Su Yu picked up a mahjong tile and threw it towards Lu Qiusha. "That's a piece of paper." Boom. Suddenly, the grotto heaven shook violently, and the tube rapidly changed. A bright sun suddenly emerged, filling the entire grotto heaven. However, grotto heaven is too small to accommodate the bright sun. The blazing high temperature spreads out. 6 figures came quickly, but at this moment, they all stopped. It's not that they want to stop, it's that they have to stop because they are melting. The closer he got to Su Yu, the more he melted. If this continues, they will die completely before they can really get close to Su Yu. As for revenge, just dream, there is everything in your dream. Looking at the scene in front of him, Su Yu looked stunned. He turned around and looked at Immortal, "You call this a tube?" Su Yu did not notice that at this moment, the expressions of the 3 immortal beings became very strange. It was as if they saw something that surprised and unexpected them. At this moment, the immortal demon and the immortal demon seemed to have thought of something and looked at the immortal. Immortal is a little innocent, "How can I know what's going on? I'm confused too." "Okay." Su Yu can use Yaoji because he agreed. But he didn't know what was going on with this tube. This mahjong is really easy to use. Su Yu was so excited that he grabbed a 2-tube piece and threw it out. Boom. Grotto heaven shakes. Heaven and earth roar. At this moment, everyone looked up. There is an extra pair of eyes in the sky, as if there are 2 stars in the sky. No matter where they are in the world, they can see these terrifying eyes. There was no emotion in those eyes, as if they regarded everything in the world as a stupid dog. A pair of eyes. The eyes look bigger than the moon. If those are eyes, whose eyes are they? Why do I feel like my heart is shaking and my whole body is shaking when I look at these eyes? Countless people from all over the world have seen these eyes, and they couldn't help but talk about it while they were trembling. Night Watch Headquarters. The big black dog was sitting in front of an old man, spitting out human words and flying everywhere. Suddenly, the big black dog looked up, his expression changed, and he said in a voiceless voice, "That's..." "Hush." The old man suddenly spoke and sighed. "Don't mention it, don't think about it, don't talk about it. I didn't expect that that person is still alive." The big black dog suddenly seemed to have exploded, with cold hairs standing on end. "Who is that?" "I said, don't mention it, don't think about it, and don't talk about it." The old man shook his head, withdrew his gaze, and said to the big black dog, "I already know about Luqiu Grotto Heaven, and I will deal with it later. Xiaotian Quan, you can go back. Comma. In Grotto Heaven, Immortal put away the second barrel with lightning speed. The eyes in the sky disappeared immediately, as if they had never appeared before. Before Su Yu could react, Cheng Shengxian put away the cards on the mahjong table. Immortal Chong Sheng thought for a while, and the mahjong table was gone. We can't let Su Yu throw it away anymore. If Su Yu throws the mahjong table out, the noise will be bigger than a second barrel. Come back. Immortal stretched out his hand. The bright sun turned into a sheet and a tube again, and fell into the hands of the immortal. Lu Qiusha and the other 5 figures fell down, their whole bodies trembling. It was a tremor from the soul. Even back then, they had never been so trembling. The existence of these 3 immortals actually gave them an extremely terrifying feeling. If they were still alive, they would turn around and run away immediately. However, they are already dead, and all that exists now are the incarnations of the gods. Moreover, in the near future, the myth itself will also dissipate. Therefore, no matter how scared they are, they still want revenge. Su Yu, if I die, you will be buried with me. After the bright sun disappeared, Lu Qiusha's divine incarnation became much more illusory, but now, he still rushed towards Su Yu fearlessly. In addition, the 5-path divine culture incarnation also made the same choice without any hesitation. They have to avenge themselves. Facing the 6 war emperors, even if they are just divine incarnations, Su Yu is no match for them now. Therefore, Su Yu ran directly behind the three immortal beings without any hesitation. You are so brave, how dare you act recklessly here? Su Yu looked at the three immortals and said, "Three seniors, save me." Immortal sighed, stretched out his right hand, and flicked his fingers. Nothing was seen flying out, but the divine incarnations of Lu Qiusha and the other 6 people suddenly stagnated, then turned into divine inscriptions and quickly shattered. At the same time, all their divine incarnations, no matter where they were, collapsed together and eventually turned into powder. Without exception, Su Yu walked out from behind the three immortal beings and looked at the immortal in surprise. In the blink of an eye, 6 war emperors were wiped out. Even if it's just a divine incarnation, he's still the war emperor. As a result, it's gone. Senior immortal is amazing. Su Yu's eyes flickered. PFF'd. Immortal suddenly spurted out a mouthful of blood, his face became extremely pale, and he said very weakly, "I thought I could compete with the War Emperor in a 50-50 fight, but now it seems that I can fight to death in a 4 or 6 distance fight." Battle Emperor 6. Yes, the rules of heaven and earth have changed. We were very strong back then, but now, we are all very weak. The immortal demon also spoke, "If I fight against the war kings of this era, I'm afraid I will only be able to fight with them. Now, 7 of them, 3 of me. They are just incarnations of the gods, that's how scary they are. If they come in person, it would be even scarier." The immortal demon patted his chest in shock and said, "I think the War Emperor and I are on a par with each other. They are 8 and I am 2. Su Yu looked at the 3 immortal beings suspiciously. "Do you believe it yourself? Can you pretend to be any more similar? Forget it if it's 50-50. 28, are you kidding me? Little Su Yu, I'm injured, so I won't play mahjong today." Immortal said slowly. "Okay, I'll come back and play mahjong with the 3 immortal seniors later." Su Yu said goodbye with a smile. After Su Yu left, the mahjong table reappeared. The 3 immortal beings sat down, and the immortal sighed, "We have been sleeping for endless years, and we were almost exposed. Fortunately, I reacted quickly and pretended to be injured, so I deceived little Su Yu." "Are you sure you have deceived Xiao Su Yu?" asked the immortal demon. "You should have been deceived, right?" Immortal said uncertainly. "Whether I cheated or not, it doesn't matter now." The immortal demon asked, "I think the more important thing is, why can little Su Yu use your mahjong? How many people can you control in this mahjong game? Or are you giving Su Yu permission to use it?" Upon hearing this, the immortal demon also looked at the immortal, waiting for an answer. "There aren't many people here." Immortal frowned and said, "It's all about planning. In this world, only the 3 of us can control it." "Then what happened just now?" The immortal demon thought for a while and said, "I remember that you stayed in the mortal world for 100,000 years and married a beautiful concubine in 10 years. Little Su Yu will not be left behind by you. Descendants of blood, right?" "Nonsense. I have only stayed in the mortal world for 100 years, and I have only married 3 beautiful concubines." Immortal Chengsheng immediately changed his face, but after thinking about it, he said, "As for the descendants of my blood, that is even more nonsense. Back then, all the descendants of my bloodline were dead. Besides, I didn't feel my blood in little Su Yu's body." Immortal frowned. The immortal demon and the immortal demon also frowned. "This is strange. Su Yu, why can you drive 1 barrel and 2 barrels? Moreover, looking at it like this, Su Yu may be able to control all mahjong." At the same time, Su Yu limped back home. Saint Xing Yishan had finished eating long ago, and now she was sitting in front of the Guanyin statue, meditating. Su Yu stood at the door and took a look, then turned and left. But soon, Su Yu stepped back and looked at Xing Yishan again, the Guanyin statue in front of him. "Am I dazzled?" Su Yu frowned, "I just seemed to see that the Guanyin statue seemed to move." With doubts, Su Yu walked in and looked at the Guanyin statue carefully. "This is a very ordinary Guanyin statue. What's wrong?" Xing Yishan opened his eyes and looked at Su Yu and asked. "Where did you buy the Guanyin statue?" Su Yu asked. "Lu, I bought it from a stall on the roadside." Xing Yishan said weakly, "Is there any problem?" "No problem." Su Yu shook his head, looked at Xing Yishan, and asked with concern, "How is your injury?" "The injury is fine. I'll be able to recover naturally in a few days." Xing Yishan thought for a while and replied. That's fine. I'll dig up the treasure map later and see if I can dig out anything good. Su Yu turned around and was about to leave, but turned around again and said doubtfully, I just remembered, you are like this. The name sounds a bit. After hesitating for a moment, Su Yu asked, how did you get your name? My name was given to me by Guanyin after she appeared. Is there any problem? Xing Yishan frowned. What's the point of asking this? No, you take good care of yourself, I'll leave first. Su Yu waved his hand, closed the door for Xing Yishan, and went to take a shower. After taking a shower, Su Yu looked at himself in the mirror, bruised, and couldn't help but grin. When I took a shower, it almost hurt to death. Even now, it hurts. After thinking about it, Su Yu called Lindsay. After a while, Lindsay came back. Su Yu went directly to the next door and took off all his clothes in front of Lindsay. Sister Lin, give me some of your magical plaster. Su Yu couldn't forget it. I saw you playing mahjong this morning, and I thought you didn't feel any pain. Lindsay turned around to get the plaster and applied it to Su Yu with her own hands. The ice is cool and very comfortable, but in just 3 or 4 minutes, all the wounds were scabbed. Su Yu climbed up quickly, put on his clothes, smiled and said to Lindsay, Sister Lin, thank you. By the way, give me some of your plaster. A small bottle was thrown over. Su Yu returned home with the plaster and threw it to Xing Yishan. Then, Su Yu went out. There are a total of 3 divine texts in inner heaven and earth. The word, war, is in the divine text, and the king of war ranks 2. The word, kill, in the divine text originally meant the king of war, but now, it has become the king of war rank 1. There is also a sacred text with the word, sword. To this day, he is still the king of war rank 1. I have to dig up the treasure map to see if I can dig out something good. Let me improve my strength quickly. Now, Su Yu feels very insecure. Without strength, I feel like I will die at any time. I wonder if Lu Chu killed them, and if there are any divine beings out there. If there is, it will be troublesome if you try to kill me again. Su Yu thought secretly. A treasure map appeared in his hand. Su Yu glanced at the coordinates and couldn't help but grinned. It's actually in the First People's Hospital of the city. Fat Man and I are really destined. Let's dig up the treasure map and see Fat Man. By the way, it just so happens that I'm the captain now. Where can I find so many team members? It just so happens that Fatty is the king of war. He is a very good candidate. Soon, Su Yu arrived. After finding the specific location in the hospital, Su Yu looked at it intently. There is a jar of fetal spring water stored here. It has no effect other than fetal abortion. Looking at the golden handwriting, Su Yu almost laughed. Fountain water. How could there be such a thing in the world? What can you do if you dig this thing out? But after thinking about it, Su Yu decided to dig. You can't always dig out treasures, you still have to dig out some things of little value, and even some dangers. This is disguise, specifically used to confuse others. Otherwise, if time goes by and someone discovers that he only digs for treasures and sells treasure maps that cannot dig out treasures at all, it will definitely arouse the suspicion of interested people. After Su Yu used the treasure map, a space emerged. A jar of fetal spring water. It's time to go see Fatty. Su Yu collected the birth spring water and went straight toward 666. Before anyone arrived, Su Yu heard roaring coming from Ward 666. Away is dead, you dug him up. Grandma, my child is dead, even Jesus can't keep him. I said so. Su Yu rushed over quickly. The fat man was lying on the hospital bed, his belly was bulging, and he looked as if he was pregnant. There was an old woman standing next to her. She was a little at a loss. She seemed to blame herself and didn't dare to speak. She just stood there wiping her tears. What's going on? Why are you making such a big fuss? Su Yu walked in and asked. Su Yu. When he saw Su Yu, the fat man's face turned red and he immediately turned his head and pulled up the quilt to cover his belly. Old man, are you Fatty's grandma? Su Yu asked. Alas, the old lady kept sighing as she wiped away her tears. Let's do this. Old man, how about you go back first and let me persuade the fat man? Su Yu suggested. The fat man is too angry. If the old lady continues to stay here, it will only make the situation get out of control. At this time, Everyone must calm down. Okay. The old lady nodded. Su Yu supported the old lady and took her downstairs, and then asked, "Old man, what's wrong with the fat man?" Alas, the old lady sighed. I dug out a can of water. I thought it might be some kind of fine wine and jade dew, and if I drank it, I would become an immortal, so I quickly brought it to Alway. As a result, Alway's belly became bigger after drinking it. I called the doctor over. When the doctor checked, he said Alway was pregnant. When Su Yu heard this, his outlook was shattered. Fatty, are you pregnant? But the fat man is a man. I thought, I'm pregnant right now. Just in time, Alway discovered some kind of skill that made him no longer a boy. I'll let Alway give birth to the child, so that the old Chen family will have an heir. But Alway didn't want to. He even told me that Alway was dead. The old grandma held Su Yu's hand tightly and begged, "You and Alway are both young people. You have a common language. Can you help grandma persuade him?" I'll try my best, Su Yu said quickly. Then, Su Yu called the night watchman who was patrolling the hospital and arranged for the night watchman to send the elderly grandmother home. Su Yu then went upstairs again and returned to Ward No. 666. Su Yu looked at the fat man and didn't know how to speak. "Don't ask, I won't say anything." The fat man spoke first. "I can't talk about this. Shame on you." He didn't even dare to look at Su Yu. After a pause, the fat man suddenly asked, "Su Yu, you are the night watchman, can you change the name on my ID card for me?" "What do you want to change it to?" Su Yu asked. "Before, my name was Chen Xiaowei, but now, I want to change my name to Chen Weiwei. That one with the cursor prefix Wei," said the fat man. "Are you serious?" Su Yu asked. "If you're not serious, what can you do? Can I change back?" The fat man was about to cry but regretted. "But, there is no way." "Then, what should I do, child?" Su Yu was silent for a moment and asked. "Don't mention the child to me." The fat man became angry when he mentioned this. "Okay." Su Yu nodded, took out a can of birth spring water, placed it on the bedside, and said to the fat man, "This is the birth spring water I dug out, and I give it to you. Then I'll leave first. I'll see you later." Su Yu left. Su Yu didn't mention the matter of recruiting Fatty to join the night watch. The timing is wrong. Next time, after leaving the hospital, Su Yu took out a treasure map, looked at the coordinates, and prepared to rush over to dig for the treasure map. Suddenly, the phone vibrated. On the headlines, an urgent news was pushed. Shocked. The whole country is shocked. Someone dug up a piece of heaven and earth in Magic City, with countless creatures and powerful people in it. An emergency meeting is being held at the Night Watch headquarters, and it is speculated that night watchmen from all over the country will be arranged to provide support. As soon as Su Yu finished reading, his phone vibrated again, and another news item popped up. The meeting at the Night Watch headquarters has ended. Night watchmen from all over the country are getting ready and will soon go to the Magic City to provide support and explore the excavated world. Dug out a piece of heaven and earth. Su Yu frowned. What is heaven and earth? I definitely understand the literal meaning, but what exactly is the so-called heaven and earth? I haven't seen it before, I really want to take a look. Su Yu was a little impulsive and wished he could put on his wings and head to the Magic City now. But after thinking about it, I decided to forget it. Night watchmen from all over the country are going to support the Demon City, which means that the world dugout is very dangerous. Otherwise, with the foundation and strength of the Demon City, there is no need for support at all. Lu Qiusha deserves to die. If it weren't for Lu Qiuqiu, I would be fighting like a king and going to support the Demon City. There shouldn't be any big problem, right? Su Yu shook his head and was about to go to the next place to dig up the treasure map when Li Xiao's call came. Su Yu, come to the branch for a meeting. Li Xiao said hastily and hung up the phone. We have another meeting. Su Yu was a little irritated. I didn't want to go to the meeting. I just wanted to dig for the treasure map. But complaints were complaints, and Su Yu rushed to the Night Watch branch without stopping. There is no way, the night watchman gave me many treasure maps. Just for this reason, Su Yu couldn't refuse. In a conference room, 4 people have already arrived. Soon, Su Yu also came. After entering, he didn't say anything and sat down directly. Okay, everyone is here, let's start the meeting now. Li Xiao got straight to the point and said directly, I believe everyone has seen the news pushed by Toutiao. Someone has dug up a piece of heaven and earth in the Magic City. After a pause, Li Xiao added, let me tell you some inside information. The excavated world, according to preliminary estimates, is as large as 3 or 4 great Sha territories. That piece of heaven and earth, where the sky is round, there are people and monsters in it, and it is very dangerous. Some of our senior members of the Night Watch came in to investigate. In just half an hour, they met 7 war kings. Currently, we have not been discovered over there, but once they are discovered, they are likely to have a large number of powerful people enter our world. So, we must prepare in advance. Once a conflict occurs, it will be a war between 2 worlds. The above is internal information. It is forbidden to discuss or disseminate it outside this door. When Su Yu heard this, his expression became serious. The world that was dug out belonged to another civilization. The collision of 2 civilizations must be the law of the Dark Forest. The situation is like this. Li Xiao calmed down and said, Lin Zi, Zhang Tian and I went together to provide support. Lei Gang and Su Yu's left behind branch are in Tianhe City. Now, do you guys have any questions? Li Xiao asked. Minister, I'm going to provide support too. Lei Gang touched his shining bald head and spoke quickly. There are only 2 war emperors in Tianhe City. Someone must stay. Li Xiao said lightly, since I am going to support, you must stay. Lei Gang had no choice but to keep silent. Minister, I want to go too. Su Yu couldn't help but speak. It would be good to go and experience it. Moreover, if he goes to the Magic City, once there is a new treasure map, he will still want to dig for the treasure map in the Magic City. Different places may dig different treasures. For example, someone dug up a Mercedes-Benz at the foot of Mount Tai. It was suspected to be the car of a certain big shot, and the Dao rhyme on it was extraordinary. In Tianhe City, I am afraid that even if I dig for a lifetime, I will not be able to find the car of a big shot. Su Yu, you are too weak. It's better not to go and stay in Tianhe City. Li Xiao shook his head. Yes, Su Yu is too weak. If it was Su Yu before dawn, Li Xiao would still be thinking of taking Su Yu to the Magic City. At that time, Su Yu was still very strong. If you go, it can play a big role. Even if it doesn't play a big role, it's still good to see the world. But now, forget it. Su Yu is gone and he is just a burden. Su Yu, if you don't want to go, you won't go. Lei Gang smiled and patted Su Yu on the shoulder. When the minister leaves, we 2 brothers will have the final say in the entire Tianhe City. When the time comes, I will take you to the world of heaven and earth. We will dig up a dragon, eat its meat, and drink its blood. Su Yu curled his lips and said nothing. All right, Lin Zi and Zhang Tian, go get ready immediately. We'll set off in 30 minutes. Li Xiao said. Lei Gang, go and inspect the whole city to prevent anyone from causing trouble at this juncture. After everyone left, Li Xiao said to Su Yu, Su Yu, sit here, I have something to tell you. Su Yu sat opposite Li Xiao in confusion. Lei Gang is very strong, but he is not as smart as you, nor as ruthless as you. Li Xiao said with a smile. I heard about Luqiu Grotto Heaven, and you did a good job, so I temporarily decide that after I leave, I will leave some things to you. Well, just think of it as my inspection of you. If I can come back from the Magic City alive, I will most likely be transferred. At that time, if you become the War Emperor, I will propose to the superiors that you be the minister of the Tianhe branch of the Night Watch. After a pause, Li Xiao took out 3 watches, handed them to Su Yu, and said, these 3 night watchmen, they appear to be night watchmen, but they are actually people arranged by the 7 Kills cult. What do you want to say about these 3 people? Su Yu took it over and took a look. Don't know anyone. After thinking for a while, Su Yu asked, why not just kill them? Why kill them? Li Xiao smiled and said, kill them, and the 7 Kills sect will arrange for people to sneak in. It will not be easy to find the people of the 7 Kills sect. Instead of doing this, it's better to keep them. At least, I know who is from the 7 Kills cult. At critical moments, I can also send some information through them. The advantages outweigh the disadvantages, isn't it delicious? Yes, Su Yu nodded and said, then I have nothing to say. Okay, let me tell you. Li Xiao said. I usually keep an eye on these 3 people personally, but I am going to support the Magic City this time. I don't know when I will come back. So, this task is left to you. Li Xiao hesitated and said, as for them, you can kill them, or keep them and keep an eye on them. Anyway, that's your arrangement. When I come back, I will only look at the results and the benefits. Su Yu, what do you think? When Su Yu heard this, he started thinking. Li Xiao was not in a hurry and waited patiently. After 2 minutes, Su Yu nodded and said, okay, I'll handle it. Okay, Li Xiao smiled, with some expectation in his eyes, and then continued, since you agreed, then this thing can be temporarily handed over to you for safekeeping. A palm-sized map of Tianhe City was handed to Su Yu by Li Xiao. This is a map of the Tianhe River based on the seals of mountains and rivers. Li Xiao said, if someone digs out danger in Tianhe City, it will be displayed on the Tianhe map, such as. Having said this, Li Xiao picked up his cell phone, made a call, and ordered, dig. Boom. Suddenly, the world shook, and a terrifying breath came. Someone unearthed the terrifying existence. On the Tianhe map, there is a place where a red, 2, quickly rises. Su Yu couldn't help but feel shocked in his heart. No wonder Li Xiao is always the first to arrive when someone digs up something. The number 1 corresponds to the warrior realm, the number 2 corresponds to the battle king realm, the number 3 corresponds to the battle emperor realm. If you dig out the digital kings of war, there will be a lot of red 2s. If there are a lot of numbers 3, or even numbers larger than 3, don't hesitate to ask for help from East District 1 immediately. Li Xiao explained patiently, of course, the Tianhe map is not perfect, and it cannot be sensed every time. For example, when you dug up the fragments of the Rui golden cudgel and found 3 immortal beings, the Tianhe map showed no reaction at all. Su Yu took the Tianhe map. The moment he took it, he suddenly felt as if he appeared on the sky and could overlook the entire Tianhe city. It's far clearer than looking at a map of the Milky Way. Now, there is a third thing. Li Xiao smiled and continued. The third thing is relatively simple. You are now the captain and have the authority to release news. If someone digs up something, you should post it online as soon as possible. Of course, you decide what should be posted and what should not be posted. In fact, for some news, you don't need to publish it right away. You can wait 10 minutes or 2 days before publishing it. The effect may be different. Li Xiao stood up and asked, now, do you have any questions? Sister Lin said that I have become a full-time employee and will give me a car. When will it be given to me? Su Yu asked. I promised to give it to the car, but it hasn't been given yet. Lin Zi, dishonest, bad person. Haha. Li Xiao was amused and said, too many things have happened in the past 2 days, but the car assigned to you is still on the way, so just wait. When the bus arrives, I allow you to pick first. Okay, I'm leaving. Li Xiao walked out and said, you should be more careful while I'm away. Kill when you need to. Don't be afraid. If something happens, I'll take care of it. Lei Gang, don't have any hopes. He doesn't have enough brains. He's good as a thug, but not as a minister. Li Xiao opened the door and walked out. Lei Gang stood outside with a sad and angry look on his face. Who was he looking down on? I have been a captain after all, so why am I running out of brains? Why can't I just be a minister? Ah, the time is up, I'll take the first step. Li Xiao's figure flashed and disappeared in an instant. Lin Zi and Zhang Tian suppressed their laughter and quickly followed. After they left, Lei just looked at Su Yu and asked, Su Yu, do you think I'm really that unbearable? Su Yu shook his head quickly. I think, Captain Lei, you are full of wisdom. Really? Lei Gang smiled. I also feel that I am full of wisdom. Su Yu, you are worthy of being my half-brother. Li Xiao is gone. In Tianhe City, we 2 brothers have the final say. Su Yu's eyes lit up and he pulled Lei Gang into the conference room. Captain Lei, do you want to do something big? Su Yu asked in a low voice. What to do? Lei Gang's eyes lit up. I want to take the opportunity to destroy the 7 Kills sect. Su Yu said, last time, there were countless casualties in the 7 Kills sect. Moreover, I killed so many people in the 7 Kills sect, the 7 Kills sect must hate me to death. Sooner or later they have to come and kill me. Instead of doing this, I'd better kill them first. I will take advantage of this time to kill them all. Even if there are still people alive, as long as they hear my name, they will be frightened and take a detour. What do you think? Su Yu asked. When Lei Gang heard this, he did not immediately agree. Instead, he pondered for a moment and said, 7 Kills sect, although its vitality is severely injured, an emaciated camel is bigger than a horse, so we cannot kill it. Are you sure? After careful calculation, we are still sure. Su Yu thought for a while and said seriously. Okay, then I'll do it with you. Lei Gang agreed immediately without hesitation. Okay, you stay in charge of the branch while I go out and prepare. When I'm ready, I'll come back to you. Su Yu left with a smile. This time, maybe there is an opportunity. The news that he massacred the entire Lukyu clan at Grotto Heaven in Lukyu will soon spread throughout the world. The 7 Kills sect will definitely not be able to sit still. If he was still the War Emperor, the 7 Kills cult would have to endure it even if it couldn't sit still. But what if he is not the War Emperor? Can the 7 Kills cult endure it? Can they still sit still? Su Yu is not only their life and death enemy, but also possesses the 7 Kills monument. No matter what the reason is, they must kill Su Yu. Therefore, they must come. I'm not afraid that you won't take the bait, but I'm afraid that I'm not strong enough. Su Yu's eyes flashed with murderous intent. When I go to prepare, I will kill as many as you come this time. Soon, Su Yu appeared in the Night Watch family building community and directly entered the Grotto Heaven. As a result, Su Yu was stunned as soon as he entered. 3 immortals exist, but they are not here. A piece of paper was suspended in midair. Su Yu stretched out his hand, and the paper flew over and fell into his palm. Little Su Yu, we heard that someone dug up a piece of heaven and earth in the Magic City. Let's go and join in the fun. Don't read it. Immortal immortal, immortal demon, and immortal demon, stay. Su Yu regretted it. Late. The backer ran away. The mahjong table is gone too. Su Yu raised his eyes and looked ugly. The mahjong table is gone too. Even the stone bench for playing mahjong is gone. Are you concerned? Su Yu cursed. If you run away, at least leave me a little bit of trouble. I don't want to keep any more chickens. I can just keep a tube. If it doesn't work, 10,000 will do. Su Yu walked around the Grotto Heaven and found nothing. Before leaving, the 3 immortal beings emptied the entire place. This note seems to be the only thing left. Su Yu took the note and put it away without thinking too much. Su Yu left. The 3 immortal beings ran away, so he could only think of other ways. Soon, Su Yu saw Bai Yuan and asked, Senior Bai Yuan, are you going to support the Demon City? Yeah, I'll leave in a while. Bai Yuan nodded. Can you give me one of your hairs? Su Yu said sheepishly. Okay. Bai Yuan nodded and said, you are too weak now and you have a lot of treasure. Many people will definitely kill you. I'll give you one. It can save your life at a critical moment. The white ape plucked out a white hair. Thank you, Senior Bai Yuan. Su Yu was somewhat moved. Senior White Ape is really great. Yuan Chengsheng, it's time to go. Suddenly, Hao Tianlu's figure appeared in midair. White Ape nodded to Su Yu, rose into the sky, and soon became a small black dot and disappeared into the sky. Hao Tianlu smiled and left. In addition to Hao Tianlu, there are also Hohu, Mr. Liu, and General Bai. After they all left, Su Yu immediately returned to the Night Watch branch. Except for the night watchman who is patrolling, all the remaining night watchmen must assemble. Suddenly, Su Yu's voice echoed in all directions. Soon, the night watchmen who were not on patrol quickly returned to the Night Watch branch to assemble. They all looked at Su Yu. Now, Su Yu is the boss. I just received news that the remnants of the 7 Kills cult are coming to Tianhe City to cause trouble while the minister is away. Now that my strength has regressed, I have just become the king of war for the first time. Once the remnants of the 7 Kills sect come, I will definitely be defeated. So, from now on, only the necessary personnel will be left in the branch, and the rest will go out and work in 2 shifts to patrol the city. Once suspicious people are found, they will be arrested and killed. 3 of the night watchmen moved their eyes slightly, but they behaved very well. As long as they were not staring at them, their gazes were basically invisible. Now, I'll take action. Su Yu pointed to some night watchmen, 10 of you, Follow me out for inspection in a moment. There were 3 people on the list given by Li Xiao, and among these 10 people, they accounted for 2. These 2 people were secretly happy. However, they behaved so well that no one could notice. Su Yu took 10 night watchmen and went out on patrol. While patrolling, Su Yu played with the treasure maps in his hands. In a grotto heaven, several figures gathered together. This is the headquarters of the 7 Kills cult. Second leader, when will the leader come back? One of them asked worriedly. The leader has not come back since he was hunted down last time. Could it be that it's already? He did not dare to think any further. The 7 Kills sect could be today only because of the support of the leader alone. If the leader is gone, the 7 Kills sect will be finished sooner or later. Alas, we have to wait until the leader comes back. The second leader sighed and said, last time the leader was hunted down and had no choice but to go to sea and escape all the way to the island country. There are high-level night watchmen guarding the sea. For a while, the leader will not be able to come back. But everyone must believe in the leader. The leader will definitely come back, and it won't be too long. Having said this, the second leader smiled and said, you should have watched the news, right? Over in the Magic City, someone dug up a piece of heaven and earth, and night watchmen from many places across the country went to support the Magic City. As a result, the defense at sea will not be as tight as before, and the leader will take the opportunity to return. After everyone heard this, they breathed a sigh of relief. As long as the leader comes back, everyone will have a backbone. Give the leader half a year, and the 7 Kills sect will still be the same 7 Kills sect. Okay, I'm not calling everyone here because of this incident. The second leader changed the topic and said, in Tianhe City, Li Xiao and Lei Gang entered the War Emperor, but now, Li Xiao has led people to support the Demon City, and there is only one War Emperor Lei Gang and War King Su Yu left in Tianhe City. Su Yu killed many of us. This time, we have to take the opportunity to take revenge. But, second leader, I heard from the gossip that Su Yu seemed to have massacred the entire grotto heaven by himself. Are you sure that we, the people, can come back with revenge? Someone said. Su Yu massacred the entire Lukyu grotto heaven, and even Lukyu was killed by Su Yu. The second leader said with a smile. However, Su Yu also paid a heavy price for this. If you don't save 1 out of 10, now you are just joining the War King for the first time. Of course, I have arranged for someone to test Su Yu's cultivation. Once it is confirmed that Su Yu is really the king of war, that will be the best time for us to enter Tianhe City. As soon as they heard this, everyone was excited. Kill, kill, kill. Su Yu killed so many followers of my religion. Even my own nephew was killed by Su Yu. He was my flesh and blood. One person was heartbroken, his eyes filled with hatred. This time, we will not only kill Su Yu, but also massacre the entire Tianhe City. Someone suggested, if Tianhe City is massacred, all their treasure maps will be ours. Then, let's go slowly dig. Well said, that's how it should be. Another person said with bloodthirsty eyes and murderous intent, the last action in Tianhe City dealt a heavy blow to our 7 Kills sect. This time, we must do something. Do a great job to avoid being laughed at by your peers. Moreover, the 7 Kills monument fell into Su Yu's hands. It is the treasure of our 7 Kills sect and must be snatched back. All murderous, and he is full of confidence in the next trip to Tianhe City. Tianhe City. Su Yu led people to patrol, and occasionally dug out some dangers, and personally led people to kill the monsters he dug out. The cultivation of the King of War is fully revealed. Moreover, it is obvious that Su Yu's cultivation level has fallen from the War Emperor. The eyes of the 2 people in the team flickered, and they were even more sure of Su Yu's cultivation. After patrolling the city for a long time, Su Yu looked down at the time, then raised his head and said, okay, it's time for everyone to rest. After dinner, we will patrol for another 2 hours. Now, disband. After saying that, Su Yu left. Time is running out, go dig the treasure map first and make more preparations. The 7 Kills sect may come in the evening, or it may come tomorrow. No matter when you come, you must be prepared. While taking the time to lead a patrol, Su Yu had already seen what he could dig out. Now, dig them all out, then regain your strength, prepare some trump cards, and give the 7 Kills sect a big surprise. The 7 Kills sect failed to be destroyed last time, but its vitality was severely damaged. This time, the 7 Kills sect must be destroyed. Of course, except for the leader of the 7 Kills cult. Finding a place where no one was around, Suyu activated the teleportation wristband and the figure immediately teleported out. When he appeared, he had already arrived at the location marked on one of the treasure maps. In the past, an immortal refined 144 mahjong tiles, and a flower tile, bamboo, fell here. It was seriously damaged and its power was severely lost, but it can be used by you. Seeing the golden writing again, Suyu couldn't help but be excited. Suyu saw it when he was leading a patrol and almost couldn't help but dig it up. Fortunately, he held back and waited until now. This mahjong tile must belong to immortal. I wonder how it compares to Yaoji, 1 tong, and 2 tong. Suyu immediately used the treasure map with excitement and anticipation. A space emerged, with a mahjong tile lying quietly inside. Bamboo. Just such an ordinary-looking mahjong tile made Suyu feel like he had found a treasure. After witnessing the horror of the immortals Yaoji, 1 tube, and 2 tubes, Suyu knew that the flower card, bamboo, was certainly not simple. At the same time, in the Magic City, Immortal sensed something and said unexpectedly, "Someone dug up my mahjong tiles again." After a pause, he frowned slightly and said, "It's actually in the direction of Tianhe City. Could it be that little Suyu dug it out?" Immortal is a little unsure. "No way, right?" The immortal demon couldn't help but say, "As little Suyu so destined to us?" The immortal rolled his eyes at the immortal demon and said calmly, "What I dug out is mahjong. Is that because I have a fate with you? Sooner or later, little Suyu will be able to dig out my things." The immortal demon curled his lips and said, "Little Suyu can dig out us, which means he is not bad at luck. He will definitely be able to dig out my treasures. If you don't believe it, wait a few days and see again. If you say that, then little Suyu can definitely dig out my things." The immortal demon came over and said with a smile. Immortal shook his head, "If Xiao Suyu digs out your things, I will write the word, immortal, upside down. Tianhe City." Suyu put away the mahjong tiles, activated the teleportation wristband, and the figure disappeared in an instant. With the teleportation wristband, Suyu's speed increased by more than 3 or 5 levels. Suyu told himself that he must dig up all the treasure maps before Li Xiao came back. Once Li Xiao comes back, I'm afraid the teleportation wristband will have to be returned. When the time comes, we will have to rely on our legs to dig for the treasure map. At that time, unless you became the War Emperor, you wouldn't be able to dig out a few cards even after a hard day's work. At the moment, Suyu teleported to another place, took out a treasure map, and looked at it intently. A magic gun used by a taboo being when he was young. It is severely damaged, but it can be used and does not pose any danger to you. Looking at the golden handwriting, Suyu could not help but feel excited even if it was the second time he saw it. Taboo exists, the magic gun I used when I was young. Even though, at that time, the existence of taboos was not the existence of taboos. However, as long as it is used by forbidden beings, even a pair of big pants possesses supreme power. Wow, must dig. Suyu glanced around and found that no one was paying attention here, so he immediately used the treasure map. A space emerged. A magic gun was quietly suspended inside. Suyu stretched out his hand and held the magic gun. Suddenly, a powerful feeling came over him. How strange. Holding this magic gun, I feel like I can fight the War Emperor 50-50 now. Is this an illusion on my part? Suddenly, the magic gun lit up, and a ray of light penetrated into Suyu's body. The inner world was shaking endlessly, and suddenly, a divine text with the word, gun, condensed out. Have I condensed another divine text? Or is it the word for, gun? Suyu frowned, is it so simple to condense divine inscriptions? At the same time, in the Magic City, the immortal demon suddenly smiled and said, "Do you feel it? The magic gun I used when I was young was dug out. It seems to be in the direction of Tianhe City. Maybe it was little Suyu who dug it out." The immortal rolled his eyes at the immortal demon and couldn't help complaining, "When you were young. If I remember correctly, you were already over 1,000,000 years old at that time. Do you call being over 1,000,000 years young? Both the immortal and the immortal demon showed contempt. If you are more than 1,000,000 years old, you can be considered your ancestor. It has nothing to do with youth. The immortal demon raised his head and said calmly, in my clan, living more than 1,000,000 years is indeed a young age. You can't admit it even to death. In fact, compared to his long life, more than 1,000,000 years old is really young. Even at a young age, it's not impossible. Ha ha. Immortal smiled and said nothing, but his contempt was even stronger. Ha, the immortal demon suddenly trembled all over, with a look of surprise in his eyes. Someone dug up a beast core that I had when I was a cub. It was also in the direction of Tianhe City. The immortal demon showed an incredulous expression. I practiced countless beast cores back then. Even I don't know where some of the beast cores are. I never thought that after endless years, it would be dug out. The three of them looked at each other. Immortal Chengsheng frowned and said, everything belonging to the three of us has been dug out, and it's all in the direction of Tianhe City. It's not really Xiao Suyu who dug it out, right? If it was really little Suyu who dug it out, then this little Suyu's luck is really terrifying. After a pause, Cheng Shengxian continued, I remember that little Suyu also dug out the fragments of the monkey's Taoist weapon, and it can still be controlled normally. This is no longer a matter of luck, but of being recognized by the Taoist soldier. Yes, it was also recognized by that monkey. That monkey is unruly, how can he recognize others? That Taoist soldier also has the same character. There must be something weird here. No, when we get back, we must check on little Suyu. I didn't think much about it before, but now the more I think about it, the more I realize there's something wrong. Tianhe City. Suyu reached out and took out a beast core. During the inspection, Suyu saw the prompt here. Endless years ago, a beast race taboo existence used his body as the universe and flesh and blood as an oven when he was young. He had 129,600 core formation grains. Here is one of his scattered beast cores. It has some it's broken, and a lot of its strength has been lost, but it still has extremely powerful power. After digging out the magic gun, Suyu immediately rushed over and dug out the beast core. I dug out an ancient gold core from the back of my head, and I dug out a beast core from endless years ago, and it's also a pill that a forbidden being made when he was young. HMPH, I'm not bad either. Next time I see the back of my head, I'll show him the back of my head. Suyu was secretly happy. After taking away the beast core, Suyu teleported out again. In another place, Suyu looked intently. There is a bottle of healing elixir here. Dig it out and take it. Your injuries will be fully restored. Looking at the golden writing, Suyu quickly used the treasure map. In a space, there is a mud-and-fat jade bottle hidden. Suyu took it out, opened the cork, and smelled it. It smells a bit nice and has a little bit of a nod to it. He took out a pill and put it into his mouth, and it melted in his mouth. A very gentle power flowed through his body, making Suyu feel warm all over. During the battle in Lukyu Grotto Heaven, Suyu was seriously injured. Later, after using Lin Zi's plaster, the external injuries had completely recovered, but the internal injuries were still serious. But now, Suyu looked inside and found that the internal injuries in his body were recovering rapidly. The elixir is still as good as before. Suyu's heart moved and he teleported again, returning directly to his home. Xing Yishan just came out of the shower. Suyu opened his eyes wide, and after reacting, he quickly turned around and said, I didn't see anything. Xing Yishan's figure disappeared instantly. When she appeared again, a brand new long dress had been put on her body. The skirt is very nice. Suyu said awkwardly, I bought it outside. Xing Yishan didn't mention what happened just now, his expression was as usual, and then she asked, what happened when you came back suddenly? Now, this is for you. Suyu handed the mud-and-fat jade bottle to Xing Yishan. Xing Yishan was also injured. Moreover, it was because he was injured. Now, Xing Yishan has only recovered from his external injuries, but his internal injuries are still serious. Now that the healing elixir has been dug up, some must be given to Xing Yishan. Not to mention, when Xing Yishan recovers, he will have another sovereign-level fighting force. Then, when dealing with the remnants of the 7 Kill sect, we will be more confident. You think that with Li Xiao gone, Tianhe City will lose a war emperor, but in fact, besides them, Tianhe City also has a war emperor Xing Yishan. Xing Yishan took the elixir, took a look at it, and then looked at Su Yu with a slightly moved expression. She took out one pill, swallowed it, and gave the rest back to Su Yu. One pill is enough. Xing Yishan turned around and entered the room, and her voice came out, remember to call me when we fight. Okay. Su Yu smiled and disappeared again. Xing Yishan returned to the room, bowed to the statue of Guanyin, and said sincerely, Disciple Xing Yishan, I have seen Guanyin. However, there was no movement at the Guanyin statue. Xing Yishan couldn't help but feel disappointed. Guanyin focuses on the word, Guanyin. As long as someone recites his name, Guanyin can observe his voice and help him to be liberated. However, Xing Yishan chanted it every day, but it had no effect. Xing Yishan was not discouraged. He sat on the bed, closed his eyes, and meditated to digest the power of the elixir and guide it to repair the injuries in the body. At this time, the Guanyin statue moved slightly. Unfortunately, it was only for a moment. Xing Yishan did not see or feel it at all. Tianhe City has been completely shrouded in night. Su Yu continued to patrol with a team of night watchmen. In the city center, night watchmen patrol 24 hours a day. Of course, even so, there are still surprises every day. Boom! In the distance, there was a sudden loud noise. Walk! Su Yu rushed over immediately with the night watchman. When they arrived at the destination, everyone saw that someone had dug up more than 20 zombies. These zombies are hurting people. Superior. Su Yu drew his sword. Cut it out with one knife. A zombie fell to the ground. Another stab, and another zombie fell. Although the 10 night watchmen are all ordinary warriors, their strength is quite terrifying when they cooperate with each other. Soon, Su Yu and his men killed all the zombies. I can't, my injury hasn't recovered yet, I can't hold on. Su Yu gasped for air, sweating all over, found a place to sit down, and then said, you guys go on inspection. I have to take a rest. In 2 hours, you will hand over your shift and then go back to rest. Su Yu warned. Yes, the 10 night watchmen left quickly. Among them, there are 2 night watchmen who were arranged by the 7 Kills cult. Their hearts moved and they couldn't help but look at Su Yu twice. Su Yu's injuries were really serious. After killing a few zombies, he was panting heavily and sweating all over his body. Su Yu sat for a while, then stood up and left, found a place where no one was around, and teleported away. When he appeared again, Su Yu had already taken out a treasure map. There is a grain of dragon tooth rice here. It gathers the essence of heaven and earth and is the food of the ancient dragon. Although it has lost a lot of nutrients, its nutritional value is still very high. Dig it out and eat it. Looking at the golden writing, Su Yu did not hesitate and immediately used the treasure map. A grain of dragon tooth rice that looked like a dagger appeared in the space. Su Yu made a visual inspection and found that it was about 1 meter. After taking away the longya rice, Su Yu moved to another place and continued digging. For the next hour, Su Yu kept digging for the treasure map. An hour later, all the treasure maps that were not in great danger in the city center were dug up. The remaining treasure maps are either too dangerous, are located outside the city and are a bit far away, or are in Grotto Heaven, which is also far away. There are also some treasure maps in the Grotto Heaven where the 3 immortals exist. But Su Yu thought about it and still didn't dig it. Wait until the 3 immortal seniors come back, and then go dig. When the time comes, no matter what it is, you can dig it out. After digging for the treasure map for an hour, Su Yu's harvest was barely enough. 1 spiritual fruit, 2 spiritual herbs, and a book. Su Yu ate both spiritual fruits and spiritual herbs. My cultivation level has not improved, but I feel that my physical body has become much stronger. As for the book, it's a little yellowed, and it's called, How to Please a Mermaid. Su Yu casually turned through 2 pages and then lost the desire to continue reading. As for the rest, they are all small dangers or things of little value. Su Yu. Lei Gang's figure suddenly appeared next to Su Yu. How did you find me? Su Yu was startled. I'm afraid someone will kill you, so I keep staring at you. Lei Gang touched his bald head and smiled. Then, he saw the book in Su Yu's hand and asked, did you dig it out? Yeah, Su Yu said, do you want it? I'll give it to you. This book is worthless. Su Yu threw it directly to Lei Gang. Lei just turned 2 pages and couldn't help but swallowed. Seeing that Su Yu didn't notice him, he quickly put the book away and said with a smile, thank you then, I just took it back to study it. Next time I dig out the mermaids, if they are hostile, I might as well kill them. Quote. However, until now, I have never dug up a mermaid. On the contrary, you sold my treasure map and dug up 75 fish-headed men. When they saw me, they rushed to kill me, but I killed them all. They're so disgusting. Lei Gang is still a little scared. Fortunately, I am strong, otherwise, I would have done it at least 75 times that day. Su Yu remembered that he had just started selling 2 treasure maps of Lei Gang, one showing 99 zombies and the other showing 75 mermaids. Well, they were not mermaids, but fish-headed men. It can even be said that they are fish-headed monsters. After a pause, Lei Gang said again, Su Yu, do you think the remnants of the 7 Kills cult will come tonight? Yes, even if I don't come tonight, I will come tomorrow. Su Yu said, this is their only chance. Once I got over the injury, they never had a chance. The incident at Grotto Heaven in Lukyu must have spread widely. I don't believe that the senior leaders of the 7 Kills sect don't know about it. When the time comes, when I become stronger, they will have to think carefully, will they become the next Lukyu Grotto Heaven? Besides, there is no chance of killing me in the future. On the contrary, killing me now has the best chance. Do you think they will come? After a pause, Su Yu said with a smile, besides, the leader of the 7 Kills sect is overseas and will not be able to come back for a while. The 3rd leader has died, but there is still a 2nd leader. Although I don't know much about the 2nd leader, there are other high-level leaders, and I don't know much either. But I know that when their leader is away, now is their best chance to become stronger. This opportunity is mine. Do they want to take a gamble? If I win the bet, I will be on an equal footing with the leader from now on. No matter how bad I am, I will be inferior to 1 person and superior to 10,000 people in the 7 Kills cult. If you lose the bet, forget it, even if you bet on a dog, you don't think you will lose. Su Yu smiled, but there was no smile at all in his eyes. Just, murderous. Lei Gang looked at Su Yu and suddenly felt hairy all over his body. Su Yu is a bit scary. Fortunately, Su Yu is his half-brother. At this moment, outside Tianhe City, suddenly, there was an endless tremor. Someone dug up the treasure map. Before Su Yu could take any further action, terrifying fluctuations were heard from all directions outside Tianhe City. At this moment, a giant hand came across the sky, blocking the stars in the sky, and took a picture towards the Night Watch branch building. The remnants of the 7 Kills cult are here. Here they come. It was much earlier than Su Yu expected. But Su Yu was not surprised at all. On the contrary, he was looking forward to it. Boom! Suddenly, endless thunder and lightning rolled across the night sky, making Tianhe City bright as day. Lei Gang raised his hammer, bathed in endless thunder and lightning, and appeared above the Night Watch branch in an instant. How dare you? How dare a young man attack the Night Watch branch? Lei Gang smashed it out with a hammer. The giant hand that came from the sky collapsed on the spot. Lei Gang's eyes flashed, and he hit it again with the hammer. A figure fell out of the night sky. You just stepped into the War Emperor, why are you so strong? The man found it difficult to accept, and in addition to envy, there was more jealousy in his eyes. Lei Gang is a new member of the War Emperor, he has just joined the War Emperor for the first time, but why is the strength he has shown so terrifying? Why, everyone is a War Emperor, so why wasn't he so strong when he first joined the War Emperor? This is so unfair. I am a genius that will never be seen again. What's wrong with being stronger? Lei Gang raised the hammer and smashed it towards the opponent. Thunder filled the sky, descended with a bang, and followed the hammer towards the opponent. At this moment, Lei Gang was bathed in thunder, just like the god of thunder, controlling the thunder of heaven and earth, and judging on behalf of heaven. Lei Gang, you are still too weak. Suddenly, another figure joined in, and the two of them besieged Lei Gang together. Lei Gang was unparalleled in bravery and powerful. He was even able to face 2 War Emperors alone. Looking at this scene, Su Yu's figure flashed and stepped out. In an instant, he appeared above the night watchman. Are you here to kill me? Su Yu stood up in the air, his eyes were indifferent, and he said with a smile, to tell you the truth, I, Captain Lei Gang of the Tianhe branch of the Night Watch, is unparalleled and can be killed by just one person. You 7 kills cult are so rubbish. So, if you want to kill me, don't even think about it. Moreover, I have set up a dragnet in Tianhe City. As many as you come, you will definitely die. Su Yu was very calm, as if he didn't care at all. Su Yu, why are you so confident? In the night, the voice of the second leader of the 7 Kills sect came, someone has discovered a big danger outside Tianhe City. Aren't you going to lead someone to stop it? All night watchmen obey orders and defend Tianhe City. No one is allowed to go out without orders. Su Yu's voice spread in all directions, if there is danger, kill on the spot. Yes, countless night watchmen poured out from the branch and rushed in all directions to defend. There were also night watchmen who had rested, rushing out of their homes and heading straight to the front line. The danger you dug up has not come yet, so don't worry too much. Su Yu then said to the second leader of the 7 Kills sect, moreover, in my eyes, these dug-out existences are not actually dangerous, you 7 Kills cult are the real danger. In fact, Su Yu had already seen through the Tianhe map that there were more than 30 dangerous entities appearing in all directions. There is only one war king in total, and the rest are all war kings. Is it dangerous? In fact, it was still dangerous, but Su Yu was confident that as long as they dared to get close, he could get rid of them in the shortest time. Therefore, Su Yu is not so worried. Now, the most important thing is the remnants of the 7 Kills cult. Killing them all is the most important thing. On this point, Su Yu and Li Xiao have completely different concepts. If it were Li Xiao, he would definitely have someone go out to stop him, or even kill him in danger. But what Su Yu thought was that as long as the danger outside the city had not come yet, he would first kill the people of the 7 Kills cult, and then kill the dangers dug up. So, if I want to kill, I'll kill you first. Su Yu suddenly shouted, Saint, take action and kill them. Buzz. A flash of sword light suddenly shot out from the Night Watchman's family building community. One of the 2 people who were besieging Lei Gang suddenly let out a miserable cry, and his left arm was cut off at the root, dripping with blood, and it was too horrible to watch. Saint Xing Yishan appeared directly next to Su Yu. She did not choose close combat, but kept a safe distance and used the fairy sword to kill people. This is a fairy sword, and it is also a flying sword. It can kill people's heads from thousands of miles away. Of course, with Xing Yishan's current strength, Qinli is too exaggerated. However, there is still no big problem when traveling hundreds of meters up to kilometers. Call out, call out, call out. The speed of the fairy sword is extremely fast, like lightning, and it specializes in attacking the 7 Kills sect war emperor who had his left arm cut off. Let's go together, kill Su Yu first. Suddenly, the voice of the second leader of the 7 Kills sect came out. Suddenly, the night sky shook, and a total of 5 figures walked out. Without any hesitation, they went straight to Su Yu. Grass. After Lei Gang saw it, he couldn't help but cursed, 5 war kings. The 7 Kills sect has been severely weakened. How can they still dispatch so many war kings? Su Yu, don't run away yet. You are only the battle king rank 2 now, and you are also seriously injured. If you stay, you will just wait to die. Lei Gang was a little angry and kept urging. Su Yu, you are dead this time. The voice of the second leader of the 7 Kills sect came out, because I already know your confidence. With Li Xiao gone, there will only be 2 war emperors left in Tianhe City. Quote. Even if you have 1 or 2 more war emperors, so what? My side has more high-end combat power than you, so you must die. The speed of the 5 war emperors is getting faster and faster. They were determined to kill Su Yu as soon as possible. At this moment, the dug-out war emperor quickly came towards Tianhe City. It was a giant wolf, with a silhouette comparable to that of a mountain. When it ran, the ground was shaking, and the nearby mountains were filled with dust, as if there was a big earthquake. Ha ha! Under the night, the laughter of the second leader of the 7 Kills sect came. Su Yu, you are dead. If I kill you, the 7 Kills monument will return to the 7 Kills sect. Even you, all the blood from your body will be sucked clean by us. Until now, he thought that Su Yu dug out the precious blood of the owner of the Seven Kills monument. However, after such a long time, Su Yu must have swallowed it into his body and turned it into his own power. Otherwise, why would Su Yu kill everyone in Lukyu Grotto Heaven and destroy the entire Lukyu clan? At this point, it is unrealistic to snatch the precious blood. However, Su Yu can be killed and the precious blood in Su Yu's body can be sucked cleanly. This can be turned into their strength. Of course, the effect will definitely be worse, but it can still improve some strength to a certain extent. Facing this scene, Xing Yishan looked worried. How to deal with so many war emperors? Su Yu is no longer the Su Yu before dawn. At that time, Su Yu was killing everyone, even the Lukyu killers above the war emperor. But now Su Yu is just an ordinary war king. Then try it. Su Yu spoke calmly and threw a piece of white hair out. The white hair transformed into the form of a white ape. Senior White Ape, please kill the giant wolf outside the city. If you can't kill it, you can just contain it, Su Yu said. The white ape looked puzzled. Didn't you see that there are 5 war emperors coming towards you now? Don't you care about your own safety? If the giant wolf enters Tianhe City, it will definitely kill everyone. Su Yu said with a smile, but the people of the Seven Kills cult are currently only killing me. White Ape didn't ask any more questions, his figure rose into the sky, and an illusory iron rod emerged. It raised the iron rod high and smashed it hard at the giant wolf outside the city. At this moment, the 5 war kings of the Seven Kills sect arrived outside the Night Watch branch building. It was less than 100 meters away from Su Yu. Xing Yishan's figure moved, and there seemed to be thousands of hands reaching out from behind him. But Su Yu walked out of the Night Watch branch first. A beast core emerged, somewhat broken. The power is also much less. However, everything is relative. For Su Yu now, the power is actually terrifyingly strong. In front of the 5 war emperors, Su Yu swallowed the broken beast core in one gulp. I knew you were coming, so I have been waiting for you here. As he opened his mouth, the aura of the war emperor spread out from Su Yu's body and radiated in all directions. At this moment, behind Su Yu, the void shook, and an illusory figure appeared that seemed to connect heaven and earth. The monstrous monster chi spread out from the huge shadow. Monster chi is rolling. Monster chi soars into the sky. At this moment, the immortal demon who was about to sneak into the dugout world suddenly raised his head, with a look of disbelief in his eyes. The immortal demon said 3 swear words in a row, my beast core has been used. Su Yu didn't know about this scene. Now, after Su Yu swallowed the beast core, he felt extremely powerful, as if he was invincible. I don't know if it's an illusion. But Su Yu didn't think much and slashed out with his sword, the light of the sword reflected in the night sky. The illusory figure behind Su Yu also seemed to be holding a knife and slashing out with one strike. The sword lights overlapped and slashed at the 5 war kings on the opposite side. At this moment, everyone felt a very ridiculous feeling. The world no longer exists. Everything in heaven and earth no longer exists. The only thing that exists is the light of the knife filled with rolling monster chi. Only this sword is eternal and has an eternal existence. Poof! The sword slashed down, and the heads rolled. The 5 war kings of the Seven Kills sect die. At this moment, the world is silent. The other 2 war kings of the Seven Kills sect looked at this scene in shock, with a deep look of fear in their eyes. Outside the city, the giant wolf was fighting against the white ape incarnation. Its figure was as big as a mountain, and the ground felt like an earthquake when it ran. But now, all the cold hairs on its body stood on end, and its body was actually trembling. Even Bai Yuan, Lei Gang, and Xing Yishan looked at Su Yu in surprise. In the darkness of the night, the second leader of the Seven Kills sect, who was hiding somewhere, made no sound. High in the sky where no one could see, a whirlpool emerged, and a straight fishhook stretched out. But as if seeing this scene, the fishhook retracted again, and the whirlpool disappeared. So strong. At this moment, Su Yu was also confused. When he swallowed the beast core, he knew that he was very strong, but he felt that he could only be a battle king. In fact, he is indeed the war emperor. However, the strength displayed does not look like that of the war emperor. Suddenly, Su Yufu reached his soul and understood a truth. Cultivation is cultivation, and if you can fight, you can fight. When I swallowed a beast core, I I realized that my fate was in jeopardy. Su Yu raised his voice and said, "Tonight, if you are here, don't leave." Boom! A flash of sword light shot out across the sky, instantly slashing towards the distant sky. Boom! A figure fell out. It is the second leader of the Seven Kills sect. "You, how did you find my location?" The second leader of the Seven Kills sect vomited blood and was a little shocked. "HMPH. Just a war emperor, you want to hide it from my senses." Su Yu snorted lightly, and while the power of Beast Core was still there, he raised his knife and killed the second leader of the Seven Kills sect. Impossible. The second leader of the Seven Kills sect didn't believe it at all, but at the moment, he had no intention of fighting Su Yu, so he turned around and ran away. But soon, he had to stop. Su Yu was so fast that he appeared in front and blocked his way. "I told you, once you're here, don't leave." Su Yu slashed out with his sword, and the light of the sword reflected the night sky. Boom! A set of armor appeared on the second leader of the Seven Kills sect. A shield even appeared in front, blocking Su Yu's knife. But soon, the expression of the second leader of the Seven Kills sect changed drastically. "The shield is broken. This thing can block the full blow of War King rank 9. But now, he can't stop Su Yu's sword." What on earth was Su Yu swallowing? It was obviously the aura of the War Emperor, but why was it so powerful? "Go to hell." Su Yu struck out with another knife. "Kill me, you're not good enough." Although the second leader of the Seven Kills sect was shocked, he also had his own trump card. Suddenly, half of the bloody finger appeared. On top of it, terrifying power surged out, overwhelming the sky and overwhelming everything. The next moment, using this half finger as the starting point, a monstrous figure was drawn. The figure raised his finger and poked it out. With this poke, the figure of the second leader of the Seven Kills sect trembled, and his breath suddenly became very low. However, the sword light dissipated, Su Yu retreated, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. These days, who hasn't chosen their trump card yet? It's just a matter of whether you are willing to use it or not. The second leader of the Seven Kills sect could not help but feel happy when he saw this scene. It turns out that Su Yu is not that strong either. His heart moved, and his figure trembled again. He seemed to be a little unsteady on his feet, and his breath became even more depressed. The monstrous figure raised his finger and poked it out again. This finger is even more powerful than before. Since you can't run away, then just give it a try. If you win, you will make money. If you lose, it's not too late to run away. Su Yu's heart sank. When he killed the 5 war emperors just now, he consumed a lot of Beast Core's power. Therefore, he did not block the attack of the second leader of the Seven Kills sect. Now, there's trouble. Su Yu was not worried. He thought about it and was about to summon the dugout magic spear, or even sacrifice the Mahjong character, Bamboo. Suddenly, the knife disappeared. Also missing was the beast core that had been swallowed into the body. In front of him, a figure appeared. The figure is very tall, as if it connects the heaven and the earth, but now, the figure is shrinking rapidly, and it has also become extremely solid. Xiang held the Seven Kills sword with monster chi rolling around his body. He suddenly turned around and said to Su Yu, "Look carefully, this sword is called Opening Heaven. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more."